You guys, it's the kid, 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 it's the kid. Aloha, aloha, aloha. We are back in here for the Sunday discussion. So, as you well know, and shout out to everyone on YouTube, shout out to everyone on Facebook. We're also streaming live on the Football Hot Facebook page. So, this is a culmination. This is going to be a review of the Premier League, looking back at the Premier League, a recap of what has pretty much been a one-sided season where there was only one team in it. And we're then going to talk about specific topics. One of them, of course, being David Silva. How do we rate David Silva? Should David Silva really be called one of the greatest Premier League players of all time? And then we'll then talk about Jamie Vardy, who won the Golden Boots. And Vardy, maybe Aubameyang as well. And where does Vardy rate and how he may be underrated him as a finisher? And we'll then end up with a bit of CL final. Sorry, a bit of CL talk. Bit of Champions League talk, maybe get some guys' views about Mbappe who didn't speak yesterday, and just general looking forward to the game, and as well building up, of course, to that Man City Real Madrid game, with obviously City now finishing off their season and them now really gearing up and preparing for the showdown in August. Maybe talk about Chelsea's chances at the Allianz. So without further ado, because I did all my talking during the live stream and the post-match stream. So first off, let's look at Liverpool. So they finished off the season with 99 points. You know, they won it super early and so forth. So I want to get guys' thoughts on that. So I want to come first to people who haven't really talked to. So I want to come first to your boy Red. So Red, Liverpool, 99 points. In your view, where does this team rank in terms of historic teams in the Premier League?
What's going on, everybody? I think they'll go. I'll give them top 10. Top 10. They're not better than Invincibles. They're not better than Fergie's 3-peat, and they're not better than City. And they're not better than Chelsea. Like that instantly, that's four better teams. Chelsea 04, 05, 05, 06. Like these are some great teams, and some teams that are like, because if you actually let's look at Liverpool's season, this season individually. Let's forget like the overall arcing, but this season, they got 99 points, phenomenal, second greatest Premier League season of all time regularly. If you don't want to count the Invincibles, I'm talking about point wise. But out of the Champions League, they got knocked out in the round of 16. If you look at the FA Cup, they got knocked out. I think when there was like 16 teams left. The League Cup. Like if you look at their overall season as a whole, like pretty okay. And like and the worst part, I think all that stuff was forgivable had they not lost to City 4-0. I think that maimed their season because like that's
wait, but Red. Okay, an argument against that is Liverpool saying that, hey, we'd already won the league already, we didn't really care. So Liverpool say, well, if we did care and we're actually focused on being historic, we would have broken the record and so forth.
Well, too bad then. You should have focused then. Then we won't give you the credit, right? Like, look at the Invincibles. Say what you want about the Invincibles draws. They had. Yes, Liverpool had more W's, but they also had more L's. They also lost more. Liverpool also had like Arsenal. You don't think United would have loved to have beat them 4-0 and just maimed their invincible season? Like, not only that, like the losses that they've lost some pretty bad losses. Like the loss to Watford, that was embarrassing. Like that, Watford got relegated, and they outplayed them. And then again, and another thing that they wasted the season was their unbeaten record at home. Like I thought they rolled up and just beat them what 3-1 or 3-2.
Wait, no. Remember, stick to the Premier League. This is only for what they've done. In Premier League.
I'm judging as a whole season because Liverpool season's over now. They're out of everything. So it's like we're judging their whole season as a whole, right? Now, if we want to like maybe next year we'll be able to judge them more as a dynasty and check out how their last 4 or 5 years, and then we can start talking like because I feel like Fergie's United team like they're more dynasty but not like individual seasons. But no, as like for this one, they're just for me they're a great Premier League side. They're one of the greatest, but like no, I wouldn't like I could still think of like 4 or 5 teams that are better than them. So I'm gonna have to say they're top 10 overall.
Okay. Bring in your boy Gatlock. So Gatlock, where would you rank this Liverpool team? 99 points. Where do they rank in terms of history compared to other Premier League teams? Would you say top 3, top 2, top 5, not as good?
they're high, you know. They're good. They're good. Look, you can't deny
What do you mean? What do you
99
mean by
points
I?
is sick.
I mean, how good are they? Tell me specifically. How good are these dudes, man?
They are top five. They're top five. They are top five. Okay. I don't look. The only people I put above them are obviously the Centurions with 100 points. Undefeated. Maybe even the 99 United team. Those are the only people I can put above them. But look, 30 years coming, look, these guys, they literally trashed everybody in the league. Let's be honest. They whooped everybody's ass, cities included. I know they beat them 4-0,
And
but
there was a
come on.
beatdown. It was a beatdown. It was a beatdown. You know, they
Yeah,
embarrassed the
exactly. I
league. They
mean,
embarrassed the league.
exactly. They gave a team, some donkey team, 5-3 recently. I mean, those guys are. Look, Liverpool, they are. You can't deny their season has been great. Look, even before the corona, everybody knew they were going to win this league. Come on, like, look, they're top five for me, and yeah, the only problem is they really could have broken more records, but you see, winning games after you've already won the league, when you've gotten the medal, is obviously hard, as now Liverpool
But
understand.
City did it. City did it. They
City
already
did
won
it;
the
they
league,
were
but
out of.
they're focused enough to get 100 points after they already won the league.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the only thing you can question about. Look, when it comes to knockout football, look, Liverpool's mentality is high. Um, but look, I think after 30 years in waiting, after they won the league, I don't think they cared about anything else. I mean, after they won the league, because for City, they had won the league recently, even before they won the other Pellegrini, I believe. So even after Pep did the 100 points. That was not really City's aim. City wanted Pep to win the Champions League. That was their aim. So, but for Liverpool, they already won the Champions League. It was this Premier League they needed to win. So after they won it, I don't think they cared all that much. To be fair, so they probably should have won it because there was nothing else for them to play for. But look, they won it. They won it. I guess that's all they care about. 18 points ahead of City, man. Like that's not easy, man.
Okay. Um. So, what were you? So, I didn't. Sorry. So, Abdullahi, Liverpool. Where do you rank these guys?
I think I'm gonna put them in the top five, like what Gatlock said. We need to remember the Centurion, the what's called the Invisible Arsenal team. We have to remember them. Those teams are kind of, though they may have too many lose, but at least we know they could go in the season without losing. So Liverpool has been very consistent this year, yeah, but they have lost some matches also. So if you can remember, they've won the Champions League, they've won a lot of trophies a lot this year. So the Champions League, the Club World Cup, the like the Super Cup and everything. So top five at the moment because they kind of well deserved 99 points, 18 points behind second. Wow. So they need to be putting in top five like the Man City, the Arsenal Invincible, and also like you gotta have to rate them a lot because it's a well deserved season for them, especially the Liverpool fans. Well deserved. 30 years after for them not winning the EPL, it's well deserved. Kind of kudos to them and kudos to Jurgen Klopp himself, the manager. It's been a very good season for Liverpool. Congratulations to them.
Okay. Um. Aden Abdi, Liverpool. How do you rank this win for them?
I'll definitely rank them in the top five, but the teams that I think that are better was definitely the Chelsea 2004 and 2005, the Invincibles, arguably also the Man United 2008 2009, where they kept 14 clean sheets from November to February. I think that team was better as well. And to be fair, I think this team was kind of over exaggerated in a way because they try to compare it to the likes of the Chelsea 2004 and 5, and I don't think the Liverpool team was nowhere near that at all. Where Chelsea kept only 25 clean sheets, they also conceded about 15 goals. But this Liverpool team was great, but just not good enough to compete with those other historic teams.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, coach, I think Coach Neros. I think are you there, Coach Neros? Are you there? Okay, no, he's not there. Eye test. How do you rank this Liverpool
Yes,
team? Eye test.
So I would rate the Liverpool team as the second best team in the Premier League. And before anyone says, "Oh, what about the Invincibles? What about the treble winning side?" For me, these teams are better teams overall. The treble winning side for me smashes the Liverpool team now. But I'm speaking about in the Premier League, they got 99 points. And the Centurions are top, the City are top because they got 100. In the Premier League, that's why, because they got 99 points, I would put them second. But overall, in English teams, I wouldn't even say they're top five.
So you'd still rank them above Arsenal, who were undefeated. No one defeated them, and no one has ever done that before or since.
Yeah, in the Premier League, 100%, they got 99 points. But I would still say the Invincible team, like man for man, I would say they had a better team. But if we're speaking about seasons, yeah, that season that Liverpool had this season, I would say is the second best season any Premier League team has ever had, other than the Manchester City team. If we're talking about just the Premier League. But I'd still put the Invincibles above them, and also the Chelsea team of 05. I'd say they're better. The treble, but I'm speaking about the Premier League. It's the second best season ever for me.
Okay. Stodge. How do you rank this Liverpool team historically in the Premier League for Premier League performance in a season only?
Based on Premier League, I'd obviously put them like maybe top 4 and 5. And the thing is, I don't really think people keep on mentioning the points record. I don't think the focus for Liverpool this season was to do with the points record or anything like that, or even to go invincible. Because you have to think, obviously, everything comes with targets. They haven't won a Premier League in 30 years, and suddenly they can't just target being invincible. I think all the players and the staff really wanted this season, even beyond the Champions League or any other trophy, was just to win the Premier League, and they achieved that. So, I think it's a decent achievement. And I'm pretty much like, for some of the staff that were there even before Klopp, they said that it meant more to them than any other trophy that they have, won, even more than the Champions League. So the circumstances are clearly different. And people saying, and I think also what played a role for us not breaking the points record is there being no fans. After you won the league, obviously, players mentally, they're not the same. And having fans there and the fans behind you and them.
Hello, Stodge. All right, okay. I think Stodge is out there. I am Ham. How do you run this Liverpool team? I am
Ham. Look, I hate to say it, okay, but the best team in the Premier League has ever seen is this Liverpool team. Okay, number one. Because if you look at what we did last season, and you look at what we did this season.
No. That's not. That's not how it works. In a single Premier League season, what has been the best team in a single Premier League season? Don't bring last season into it. I'm talking about in a singular season.
I am telling you that this team is the best team the Premier League has ever seen. Okay, because when you watch this team, you understand what dominance means. You understand what never give up means. You understand what victory means, okay? Like, if you're gonna point to the Champions League and be like, oh, look at you guys didn't even get past this, or the F Cup or the League Cup, you might need to get serious. 99 points, 30-year drought, okay? You end a 30-year drought with 99 points. Can you imagine? Your teams would never do things like this. Okay, you guys had to buy the entire league to actually get a trophy. Man City.
I'm Ham. How is this team better than a team who got 100 points in a single season? 100 points one season and 98 points the next season. How is Liverpool team better than that City team who had 100 points in a season? Most points ever in the Premier League. How so?
But if you look at that City team, right, that got 100 points, this is like every single team in the Premier League or the top of the Premier League are like around the same level after Conte's season, right? And Pep, after bottling his first season, finally like sorted everything out, and he had the players, had the money, had the best players, and he did a madness. Sure, I understand that was great, but if you look at this Liverpool team, what they had to do to get like something similar, it was much harder than City's one.
No, but it's not about what much. But still, how is this team better than the team that's got 100 points? Forget about the difficulty. How is this team better than the team
Because
that's got
this
100
team,
points in a
wait,
season?
some of our players haven't even rested from last season. They just came from last season, went into some competitions, and then went back into the league, and they were still dominating. The only thing that made us not as good as not as at
What
our best was
competition?
like
Nations League.
people like Adrian coming in and people like Lovren just doing some crazy things. But like, if you look at the team, the main 11 that starts, I don't think you can tell me about a better team ever in the Premier League.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, this is great method. Okay. Let me just, before I come to Red Devil Studio, let me just hit this boy. Just Beston, predictions for Liverpool v Leipzig. Tough game. Beston, what's the flying FD mean by that? I have no idea what you mean by that. Please explain what you mean by that in the live chat. What do you mean by Liverpool v Leipzig? What does that mean? Red Devil Studio, how does this Liverpool team rank historically? Do you agree with I Am Ham that they're the best because of the degree of difficulty and how hard they have to work?
I mean, if I'm honest, I really don't care. I just really don't. As in, I just really don't care. Like, I mean, congratulations that they won. They won the league with 99 points. Like, they're celebrating, great. Cheers, great. So that's great. But this whole kind of, oh, are they the best team ever? The best sort of like, it's almost every 2 years. It was like this with City last time. Oh, they're the best team ever. They're going to have like a legacy of dominance, blah, 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 blah. And then obviously Liverpool come along. So, like, yeah, if we're talking about this season, clearly they're the best team this season because they've got the most points. But, like, I just don't think you can't compare seasons. Like, the nature, there's so many things, so many variables that come in to why certain teams are the way they are, like, based on different seasons. Like, logically, you can't compare this season and then say the season in 2000 Arsenal invincible, for example. Like, especially in this season where, frankly, every other team like had some sort of major transition. Like United, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's first season rookie. Chelsea, Lampard's first season rookie. Spurs, sacked Pochettino all over the place. Brought in a new manager to come in. Arsenal, Emery, useless. Brought in the new manager to come in. Pep Guardiola, had an average mediocre. Maybe they're focused on Champions League. So none of the other teams really in this season, really, the traditional top teams, when previous seasons would have been more stable, more competitive. The fact of the matter is that none of them really this season have been either been in a rebuilding phase, in complete disarray, or like in case Pep Guardiola just wasn't at it. So I don't think it's fair to say, just based on this one season, that this Liverpool team are somehow now the best Premier League season team, or one of the best Premier League teams ever, because, in a different context, of different seasons. I will always say, and I'm biased, that United 1999 is one of the best Premier League teams ever. And, before people say, oh, it's a treble, blah, blah, blah. If you look at the manner, because I look at the manner in which these teams actually win those things, United won that season, okay, by points, just a point. They just about won that FA Cup and just about won that Champions League. Everything seemed to work out because they kept on going. So for me, the way I sort of see it, it's not just about sheer dominance that you were like 20, 30 points ahead and you won the league in January. It's also the manner in which you actually win the league as well.
But come on, Red, no, you are being biased. How can you say that it's better than a team amassing 100 points?
No, it's like, so for example,
it's 100 points, bro. You guys, because they did 100 points.
Like Leicester City for me, what Leicester City achieved, it's
better than what City achieved.
Certainly, what we're talking about, Liverpool. certainly from what Liverpool's achieved, yeah, I think what Leicester City achieved with the resources they had in the context that they were, I think what Leicester City achieved is much more, winning their Premier League title is much more than what Liverpool achieved winning this title. That I think is that not reasonable? But in terms of, if we're just speaking objective, like in terms of, okay, based on points, yes, of course, City are objectively the best Premier League team ever, if we're just going to take in points. What I'm trying to say is that I don't think it's right to compare different seasons, because the context, you've got to look at the context of those seasons. And in this particular season, as much as I think what Liverpool did was great, it's fine. I think you have to take into account that almost all of Liverpool's rivals were in some form of disarray. There was no, it's Liverpool being good, but it's also all the other teams just being awful, woeful, and terrible. And I just wonder whether that we'd be in that situation if you put this Liverpool team in a more competitive Premier League season, would they have still have done what they did? That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Okay. So okay, so where do you? Okay, so I don't think. So where do you rank this Liverpool team then? Where would you rank them? This win.
Let's say fifth. Let's say fifth.
Okay. So guys, let's talk about a choke job, Brendan Rodgers. So these dudes were about 3,000 points ahead before COVID hit. After COVID, they lost to Bournemouth, amongst other teams, but they lost to Bournemouth, which I think was the key loss. And they completely and totally bottled it, completely choked it and everything. And this is similar to what Rodgers did in 2013, 2014 with Liverpool. So I'm going to confess to Red with this. Is this a case of Brendan Rodgers completely and utterly dropped the ball along with Leicester City, or they overachieved and they should actually still be happy and they should still view this as a success that they finished in fifth position ahead of Tottenham and Arsenal? Or do you think that's no, forget that, based on where they were before COVID, this is a massive, huge break and a massive, huge disappointment for Rodgers and the players? Red, you there, bro? Okay. What's it called? Abdullahi.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
For me, I think Leicester City should have been in the Champions League. I really don't know what, like, the way they battled the lead. I have no idea about it. I have no idea because they've been in the lead for, I think, since September or October. I'm not sure when they already. Sometimes they were even in second.
August.
Okay. They were in second. Then later they moved from second to third. I was like, wow, Leicester City could make Champions League. They started dropping off after the pandemic. I was like, what's going on with them? We give other teams the chances of overcoming them, like both United and Chelsea, giving them chance to climb them above and even finish in the top four ahead of them. I think Rodgers needs to be looked at. I think the same thing happened to him when he was in Liverpool too. When in 2013 when they lost the EPL title. So I was like, maybe it's a managerial career or just the club he has taken over. I'm not sure, but the budget of it's not just the first time it's happened. It has already happened before. So I think we need to look into Brendan Rodgers' career himself and kind of evaluate it, how good of a manager he is. Then that if you can evaluate how good of a manager he is as a manager, it's easier for us to kind of debate and talk about it. But at the moment, I think it's a bottle job for me, because for them leading in the Premier League table for so long, and later on they bottle it, not even making the top four, they make the top five in the EPL. I think you need to be looked at as a manager. You need to be looked at for me.
Okay. Red.
Yo, HH.
Rodgers and Leicester City, did they bottle it, or they were always overachieving by even being top four in the first place?
No, they're definitely overachieving. Like let's be honest. Like I said earlier in the year in the Hangout that, like, Leicester City, they're gonna drop off. It's sort of like similar to like Sevilla in that sense, where Sevilla are the type of club that earlier on in the season they start strong and they'll be first and second, but eventually, like later on in the season, when they get to the tough grounds, they fall off. And so I like, we should commend Leicester, the fact that this club has grown so much over the past 5 years that now they're just regulars in Europe. Actually, like this season they're going to be in Europa. When they were in the Champions League, they made a quarterfinal run, which was very commendable. And like one of their players, like Jamie Vardy, just won the Golden Boot. Congratulations to him. Like his legacy is now it's stacking up. So honestly, like I don't. I think we should commend Leicester City. We shouldn't like hate on them just because a team that we didn't like got into top 4 instead of them. We should definitely like commend them. Be like because like honestly like it's kind of hard when United were like they got very lucky in the last stretch these last stretch of games like and I can't believe they actually finished third. Like I'm actually like I don't even know how that happened. Like I want to say this about Liverpool earlier, but like I want to talk about like the quality of the Premier League this season. Aside from Liverpool and City, it's been awful. It's been awful. Like and it's like because like 3 of the big 6 or 4 actually, no 3 actually 3 have rookie managers. Ole, Frank Lampard, and Arteta. So that's like 3 of the big clubs are in transition, rebuilding. Then you have Spurs, who had a meltdown early on in the season. They had to hire Mourinho to salvage their season a little bit. But like those are 4 of the big teams just that are just easy matches for City and Liverpool. And like and the reason why I don't criticize City too much is because City over the past 2 seasons before this one had 198 points. So I'll cut them some slack if they have an off season because it's natural that they're going to fatigue and they're going to go through a transition. So yeah, so the quality overall, like it's just hard to blame Leicester. Like, come on, like they could have done better. I mean, they could have maintained form, but no, like they're a growing club. Congratulations to them for making 5th, and maybe like next year they could actually do a more commendable one. They can knock out because both Arsenal and Spurs are looking shaky. We don't know how good they're going to be. Chelsea look like they'll be good for a couple seasons. United will always be in the conversation, and Liverpool and City both have dynasties right now.
No, but I think Red touched on something very interesting, which is that I think we have to question the quality of the Premier League because past few seasons, the gap between City and Liverpool and the rest, very suspect indeed. Very suspect indeed. So, Coach Neros, is your mic working there, bro?
Yo, can you hear me, Church?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Finally. So, Leicester City, Coach, do you think that this was a choke job by Rodgers and Leicester City, or do you think they overachieved and it's still a successful season for them, finishing 5th?
Well, first, like, I appreciate for like putting me on in it because like it's taken some time in it. But Leicester, yeah, it's actually been like it's been a mad bottle job by Leicester because how far ahead were they? Like 12 to 15 points and
14 points,
yeah, something like that. Yeah, and Rodgers, he even did it at Liverpool where they were like 10 points ahead of Saints. So yeah, I think even though Leicester they're not a Champions League club, from where they were, it's definitely a huge disappointment. But at the end of the day,
so do you blame Rodgers or do you blame the players?
To be honest, HH, I think it is Rodgers because they went on a crazy 10-match winning run or something like that, and to go from that high to losing, what was it, 3-4 games in a row and just breaking it up at the end, it comes down to management, I think. So yeah, I do put the blame on Rodgers.
Okay. What's it called? Gatlock.
Yeah, look. Let's say I messed up. They really bottled this because it's not like United and Chelsea were on some great winning run like that. I mean, they had some bumps in the road, man. Like, I mean, they really should have clinched it, especially after they were like 9 points ahead. I was just looking at the table on the Premier League website, and they were like second during half of the season, like in December, after 19 games played, and they were like 9 points ahead of 5th Wolves. That they still got caught up, man. Like that was crazy. They should. I think Rodgers should have done. He literally did Liverpool for Leicester, man. Like I mean, once the COVID hit, everybody already said, okay, it's top 3. Wolves, Chelsea, and United are the ones that are going to fight for 4th spot. And this guy just kept on losing. I don't find they were just losing. They were just dropping goal difference like mad and helped United catch up. Like, it was crazy, man. Like, they bottled it. But I don't want to be too harsh on them because, look, nobody really saw them doing much this season. To be fair, nobody really, and I heard Red talk about other guys with rookie managers. The fact that they were rookie managers, you think that should actually be the advantage for Leicester, because Chelsea and United sometimes they don't look like they know what they're doing. So you think that that should help them over the line, but it shows that I don't know if it's Brendan Rodgers or the team, but those guys are not clutch enough, man. Because, or I think it's Brendan Rodgers because this team won the Premier League recently, so it shows that dude is not clutch. He can't when he's favorite to do something. Because when you are not favorite, it's easy for you to just go on and win.
Okay, so who do you blame?
When you're favorites.
Wait, so did Rodgers break it up or did the players break it up? Barring Vardy.
I wanted to say the players, but some of these players actually won the Premier League recently with a different manager. So you have to look at Rodgers, especially since this has happened to Rodgers before. When you break it up, when you are like now the favorites, you're not the favorite to go and do something to win the trophy or to get top 4. When they had favorite, it looks like he can't handle it. And yeah, I guess maybe you can blame players a little bit, but you have to look at the coach most of the time because this has happened to him before and it's crazy, man. But at least you're still in Europe. You can say that this is a successful season overall, but considering what they were before, this is a bit of an asterisk to their success this season.
All right, Stodge. Did they flop, choke, or it is what it is? We're going to be here.
No, they completely choked. I mean, they were around 15 points ahead of, I think, even maybe Chelsea, I'm not sure, but they were definitely ahead, like 15 points ahead of United, and they completely choked. Rodgers is a ego manager. I remember at the beginning of the season, he was soaking all the praise. He was gloating. He was showing off. And look at him now. He carries himself as if he's the greatest manager of all time. But at the end of every season, he chokes. He's got no mentality. And he actually, at the beginning of the season, I was talking to some Leicester fans, and obviously their previous manager was very defensive. And he was sort of living off the defensive principles that the team already had. And by the time, the more that his own tactics became influential in the team, you saw what happened. The defense fell apart. Same thing happened at Liverpool. The more seasons that went on, the defense fell apart. He has no ideas in terms of formations that he wants to use. He's an absolutely clueless manager.
Real quick. This is good. So this is from the comments to that Leicester had a very thin squad. The first 11 couldn't be rotated, hence fatigue and injuries are in. There is nothing Rodgers can do about injuries and fatigue with no squad depth. What do you say to that?
Here's the thing. Leicester didn't bottle the top 4 since the pandemic happened. I think people are just glossing over their form before we took the break. They were horrible. From December onwards, they weren't getting many wins. I mean, they've been like this from December. It's not just now. Even previous to their injuries, they weren't getting the results that they needed. They could have qualified for Champions League around as soon as this pandemic, as soon as we return. If they had played properly, they could have qualified within 3 games. But
so if you look at the table, so we may not see it. So basically, this is before the lockdown. Leicester 29 games. So Leicester City were 48 points. No, sorry. So Leicester City had 53 points. Chelsea had 48 points. So there were only 5 points.
That's what I mean. The pandemic's not the big difference. Look at the table in January.
Remember, they
were look at the goal difference between them and United. Look at the goal difference between them and United.
Also, look at the table in January. That's what I'm saying. They've been in horrible form since the new year. In January, at one point, they were ahead of City, and they were on almost equal points with Liverpool. Then they absolutely collapsed from December onwards. And as for people that are trying to discredit Liverpool's title, that are saying that we should investigate the Premier League, we mustn't forget the Premier League has had 5 different winners this last decade. There's leagues here that are not being inducted. I haven't seen you put them in the Brick Academy. One league that almost has a decade. A team's about to complete a decade of winning the league. There's another team that's on 9 years, and yet all of a sudden, all these other leagues are just pointing at the Premier League. You know, let's calm down. Even La Liga. You know, I know Red's a Real Madrid fan, but he could talk about how Barcelona had to sack their manager, how they're probably going to sack Setien as well. So they're obviously in disarray. They want to rebuild. You know, let's not just ignore that. You can't just point at the Premier League as if it's the only league that has any problems when other leagues are much worse, in my opinion, and have been for the last decade. If you want to talk about in terms of competition from up to down.
Exactly, Serge.
Okay. Mr. I am Ham. Did Leicester City choke?
Well, like when you look at Rodgers, like as Touch said, he's got a big ego. Okay, so like after like once he started getting the top four and he put a lead in front of him, like he started gloating. I think he lost a little bit of discipline. I think him and his players. I don't think he supported his players as much as he could have or as much as he should have if he's a coach at that position. But I think for Rodgers and Leicester, they did a good job even getting into the top four, because if you look at this season, Leicester at the beginning was one of the teams that were doing well, winning matches and playing a style of football that was really good to watch, 9-0, etc. But I think the players, like after a while, they started getting found out, they started getting injuries, they started getting tired, and it really showed that they only had quality in certain areas and not throughout the whole entire team or even throughout the entire squad. Because like even in the match today, you saw what Johnny Evans does when he's literally being run at the entire match. He just trips a guy for no reason. So like, yeah, I mean, they did the best with what they had, and I think it was very good. But Brandon Rodgers, this guy, man, I don't know. But I think he's proven himself as a very good coach. And like, if you give him attacking players, I think he's one of the best managers at unlocking attacking players, especially like people with talent that is like very expressive, like Suarez was, or even like a Jamie Vardy is, for example. He knows how to unlock like that attacking ability in them, like Madison, for example, as well. But I think people just don't want to give the Premier League like its due, because this has been a tough league. Teams today were in contention for positions.
Stop saying that crap about it being a tough league, man. Stop saying that crap. Please.
It was a tough league.
It was a tough. No, don't give me that nonsense, man. 99 points, 98 points before, and 100 points before.
Just because we got 99 points and you guys got like what 60 something points. It was
no. I'm Ham. It is logical. It is illogical to say it's a tough league when in 3 seasons, 100 points, 98 points, 99 points. That is not a tough league. Now, maybe the team you were competing with the title was tough, but as far as a league campaign, that's not tough. That's a beatdown. Okay, that is a factual mathematical beatdown.
Bottom teams that are tougher than they ever were. Bottom teams have been tougher than they ever were in history. Like, I understand if you say, Man United,
but also,
but the bottom teams were very good.
Also, the performance. You have to consider the performance of the English teams in Europe this year, for example. Like Spurs got smacked seven goals by Bayern. 7. Like Chelsea also 3-0 Bayern. Again, you want to look at Liverpool lost to Atleti. Like overall, the performance of the Premier League clubs outside
Liverpool lost to Atleti in extra time.
It's not a knock.
Why
on the league? It's not a knock on the league. It's a transition period for the league.
But I'm Ham. The reality is that Liverpool got beat twice by Atletico in both. But look, we'll get back to chill. We are asking.
No, wait. No, wait. Why is it that you guys are so excited about Liverpool losing to Atletico in extra time? It was extra time. It wasn't
extra time. Atletico defeated Liverpool twice. They beat them twice. No. In both games.
Nobody's nobody's excited.
If you lose on a goal, or you're going to say the other team that lost is weaker just because they lost on away goals?
No. Atletico beats Liverpool twice. So no. Basically, the point that Red is making is we have to question how great these Premier League teams are, because as good as Liverpool were, Atletico, who are 4th in La Liga, beat them in both legs. So we can't come out and
But
say
okay,
Premier League
okay,
is,
what
so we can't say Premier League is a
about
tough league. Liverpool are amazing.
To
If
be fair,
the fourth best team in La Liga beat them twice, that's what I'm saying.
I thought Chelsea were the best team in the
But-
world.
Easy, relax. Wait, easy. Okay, let's wait. We need to move.
What did you say?
So wait. Eye test. Look, we have to move. Okay, sorry. Before I come to eye test, from a boy Daniel Henkel who says Leicester weren't the same after the 4-0 versus Liverpool. That could be true. I remember because I think I was in Nigeria. Watching that game. Because that was during December. So I was in Nigeria when I was watching that game, and I think that's when Trent scored like 2 goals. And I think since that game, it was a bit iffy. So that may have been the turning point. But there was just a period in which, because remember there was still a time when they actually won a game. So there was all up and down. But I think by the time they came to January, February was when they dipped. It was the January, February when they dipped. Eye test.
So
I'm hearing a lot from Leicester City.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of hate in here for Leicester. I thought Leicester City were the underdogs. I thought it was everyone's second favorite team, but clearly not. But anyway, for addressing this, how can anyone say they're bottle jobs? I bet every single person in here that said they bottled it, never predicted Leicester to even be in the top 4 race in the beginning of the season. I bet none of you even predicted them to be 5th in finish 5th this season. So how can you say they're bottle jobs? And yes, maybe you have a case to say they're bottle jobs since lockdown. However, you're forgetting that they had Maddison out, they had Pereira out, they had Chilwell out, they had Sionchu out this game. I bet if you took Van Dijk out, Mane
Should still
out,
be
Salah
Bournemouth,
out, you're telling me they're gonna look the same? No. You're telling me Liverpool are going to look the same if you take their best players out, and these Leicester players that have been injured, they're key players. So how can you say they're bottle jobs? I don't understand that. But yes,
it wasn't just today. Like if you look at the last couple of fixtures, they had easy chances to get like 3 points from Brighton at home. They drew. What else?
lost
Everton away 2-1. They have had plenty of opportunities to get that 3 points.
But look at the whole season as a whole. They were in fantastic form. They were in fantastic form at the beginning of the season. It got them to the top 4. And now they finished 5th, which is, if I bet every single one of you would have said 5th is a good season for Leicester at the beginning of the season. You're a liar if you say they're not. But I can say maybe in individual games they bottled it. Overall, they haven't like today. Like today.
Wait. Let's eye test round off.
Like for example, in individual games like today, they destroyed us. If I'm being honest, Man United, they destroyed us. Kelechi Iheanacho was on fire today. However, I don't understand why Brendan Rodgers took him off, because I bet you if Iheanacho stayed on that pitch, I think we could have lost that game. He was Leicester City's best player, so maybe individual games they bottled it, but overall as a season, I don't understand how you can say they bottled it.
Okay.
But you just said they bottled it.
Wait.
Let
me get some scriptures. Easy. Super Just Beston, who says United 3rd, Cristiano wins Serie A again, 31 Gs. I'm happy. Beston, man, whatever makes you happy. I'm happy that you're happy that Cristiano has gone to a team that already won the title, being like that. Just, I think better. I think it's very sad if you're celebrating that, bro. That's just wild.
If you're happy, smile.
What?
If you're happy, smile. Best thing you say you're happy if best thing is happy, smile.
Look, man. Easy. From a boy Nowski who says teams from other leagues can rest players before the UCL. You can't in the EPL. Barca can get away with playing Team B. In England, you get punished for that.
Liverpool could have done it if they
that's what
beat
like.
Atletico.
I think Liverpool and Man City can play their B team and still beat most teams in the Premier League. I believe that. Now, maybe true from one other teams, but I think for City and Liverpool, their B teams can still say what's up to the rest of the league. 100%.
Yeah, that's a lie, because there's a 3-month gap between most European winter breaks and the start of the last 16, so that point's a bit invalid.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Okay, so okay. Edu. Did Leicester City bottle it? Edu.
Oh, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay. They were even meant to be there in the first place. I think EPL fans have to admit that Tottenham, Man United, Chelsea at times, Arsenal, Leicester shouldn't be in conversation for top six. They shouldn't even be there. They're not on this level. Rodgers, I think he did the best with the squad he had. Yes, they were on a fantastic run like beginning of the season when everyone was breaking it about. But I won't say they bottled it, man. The amount of injuries, as everyone has said, so many guys were injured. So it's like,
Injuries,
I don't know. They shouldn't be on this level. We shouldn't be having this conversation of Leicester bottling.
No. But the fact that they were even in that position to begin with, don't you feel it's still a bottle job based on them being so far ahead and they managed to lose? And they lost to Bournemouth, who are relegated. If they beat Bournemouth, they qualify for the Champions League. So what about that game they lost to Bournemouth 4-1?
And they lost to Norwich as well.
Yes, but I don't know. Still, it looks bad on the rest of the big six, the original big six, other than Leicester. I think. Yes, they're playing with kids, aren't they? They have like some young guy at left back. Every other time, is some new forward coming on, some youth academy player coming on. I don't know.
Vardy a kid? I didn't know Vardy was a kid. He's won the Golden Boot, hasn't he?
But like take today for example, they had about 2 kids on that page today. Never heard of these guys' names. They probably don't even have faith in people.
Okay, you guys don't understand. They should have wrapped it up before today. Today should not have been a problem for them.
No.
That's
Based
the
on,
thing.
I said very simply, Bournemouth. That was a team that we've now seen is relegated. If they beat Bournemouth, which they should have, being a team in 4th position, boom, it goes through. Now, thankfully, they didn't, because if they had done that, then maybe Chelsea would have actually been the guys who have lost or start. So thank goodness they didn't do it. But that was their big chance. Mr. Red Devilman. So, did Rodgers bottle it?
Yes, quite frankly. I mean, I would say the summary of Leicester's bottlage of season is the simple fact that Jesse Lingard has not scored a goal or an assist in the Premier League for more than a year. and he sealed CL football for Manchester United at the King's Power.
That's messed up.
If that isn't the definition of bottle, that doesn't summarize Leicester City's fall from grace. I don't know what is when Jesse Lingard is scoring goals. You know what I mean? And as a minor note, Jesse Lingard has the same amount of goals and assists as Hazard does to Real Madrid this season. Just putting that out there.
Red Devil. No one asked for that tidbit.
It's a stat. It's a stat.
Stick to the line of questioning, bro.
But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't get this. Yes, I don't get this excuse of a lot of people saying, "Oh, they've had injuries, or they've got young players." Like, if you look at, as Studge, I think, has already said, like, there were 14 points clear, and this whole it was just from the lockdown. No, from January, and I can read the results here. 1st of January, okay.
Red Devil comes with receipts.
They lost. They won. They beat Newcastle. Great, 3-0. And then it seems that after that, it seemed to go downhill. They lost at home to Southampton 2-1. Then in the next league game, they lost to Burnley 2-1. They beat West Ham 4-1, so fair play. They lost to Villa again. They lost to Norwich. They lost away to Manchester City. They drew with Wolves, drew with Leicester, drew with who they draw? Sorry, drew with Chelsea 2-2 at home. Beat Villa. And then we had our COVID break. And then since the COVID break, they've only picked up 6 points. Look at that table that HH showed before the break. They had 53 points. They ended on 59 points. That means in the last 20 games, they only picked up 6 points.
That is insane.
That's bad.
No, they ended the 62 points, dude.
Sorry, 62 points. Sorry, okay,
but still.
No, that's bad. So and then when people are talking about because they had injured players out. No, my empathy is with Bournemouth. Bournemouth were a side that had a lot of their star players out. They had Wilson out, they had Fraser out, they had Brooks out. They were a team that had a lot of their key players out for most of this season, and they were plagued with injuries. And they still beat Leicester City 4-1 when the going gets off. And they still won their final game at the end of the season.
So don't give me this. And young players, but plenty of clubs. United, we played with Foxy Menton, Brandon Williams, and Mason Greenwood for how many games? Where were they?
Come on, man. United to Leicester. Come on, man. Let's be serious.
No, but the point I'm trying to make is that Mason Greenwood is 18. Brandon Williams is 18. These are kids, these academy players that have not played in the season. And you're saying, oh, the reason why Leicester it's fine because they're playing kids and they've got injuries players. If other teams have not had that problem. Like, I'm sorry, they were 14, 15 points ahead. It wasn't because of this game. It's as a lot of people already said. Are people literally saying that Leicester City didn't have a strong enough team to beat Bournemouth? Didn't have a strong enough team to beat Watford? Didn't have a strong enough Brighton? Didn't have a strong team, and even Everton. I could go, okay, fair enough. But Watford, these are relegation teams. Watford, Bournemouth, Norwich, all those teams are relegated. They lost to those teams. You're saying that they didn't have a strong enough team to beat them? Nah, allow that. I'm sorry. Like it's. I agree that no one at the beginning of the season thought Leicester City were going to get this into this position. And when the dust settles, they'll still be happy that they got the Champions League spot. But I feel like my empathy with other teams like Bournemouth and even Sheffield United and Wolves that I think that had some dodgy decisions. Like if people remember the VAR.
Whoa! Is someone on the road?
If remember that VAR decision where the Sheffield United, where the ball went over the line, and had that gone in, Sheffield United could have potentially done it. My point is, there are more teams in the Premier League that deserve more empathy where they are than Leicester City do. It was a bottle job, simple as that. End of story.
All right, let's super chat here from Mr. Dave Tapcon. Thank you for super chat. He says injury. Says injury shouldn't be used as an excuse. United had an injured Pogba, Rashford, and Matic out, and had Pereira, Fred, and McTominay in midfield pre-Bruno. Yes, but it's still Man United, who still have access to a deeper squad and a much larger squad. But I mean, for me, I think injuries should basically, if you are a really good manager, Abachowitz, as Red Devil just said, yes, you have injuries, but despite those injuries, you should still beat Bournemouth. You should still beat Brighton. So, and literally, you win one of those games, Brighton, Bournemouth, Watford, you win any of those games, you qualify for top 4. So it just shows you how bad their run was. Injury or no injury, that they were not able to get victories, even within injuries, against teams that they should have really beaten against. So I don't have much sympathy for Rodgers, and I think it was a flop job. Okay, so this is from Harry Denver. Thank you so much, Harry Denver, who says KDB, Trent, Vardy, VVD, Henderson, Adama, in that order. Now, are you saying that those are the best players in the Premier League this season? Because if you're saying though, where is Aubameyang, where is Kovacic, and where is the sick? So please tell me why. Is that best players in the Premier League?
Kovacic and the sick.
Easy. So guys, I want to talk about David Silva. So David Silva bid adieu to the Premier League. He had his final game in the Premier League, and now we can pretty much assess his career and his impact on the Premier League. Now, I'll tell you guys, this is what I hate. I hate whenever someone retires, people say amazing things. And they just feel a need to say, he was the greatest player ever. He changed the game. He gave babies. He did that. He helped the world. He changed the world and so forth. Because there's just this need and act that whenever someone retires, you have to just bloviate and just completely exaggerate their achievements. You can still be nice, still be respectful, but tell the truth. So, and I will go through the room, but this is my thing with David Silva. Definitely one of the better players in the Premier League. And let me be real with you. If Santi Cazorla did not have his injuries, I think he would have made just the same kind of impact that David Silva made. Santi Cazorla, pre-injury, just as good as David Silva. I see no difference. Whereas I think Javi, Iniesta, David Villa, those guys are on a much higher level. So my thing with David Silva is definitely one of the better players, but I cannot put him in the same category as like a Rio Ferdinand, a Cantona, a Drogba, a Scholes, an Henry, who I feel are Cristiano, who I feel were the elites of the elites and had a far bigger impact on the Premier League than David Silva did. So people now say David Silva is definitely one of the greatest players in the Premier. Doesn't make any sense. And some clown who said, "Oh, but David Silva won more Premier League titles than Henry." You stupid idiot! How is the fact that he was in a supremely incredible team that's obviously were able to win more Premier League titles under Pep's guidance? How is that an argument that he had a better impact than Henry? Was David Silva the sole reason they won the Premier League titles? No. David Silva never had those two crazy seasons that Yaya Toure had, where Yaya Toure pretty much single-handedly won the title for City. David Silva never, ever single-handedly won the title for Man City the way that Yaya Toure did, the way that Cristiano did in that season. So my thing here is this, is that when would you guys rank David Silva in terms of Premier League players in history? I'll come to Red with it. Red. So Red, how do you rank your boy David Silva?
No, he's an icon. He's a legend. He's a legend of the game. But I agree with everything you said. There's I wouldn't put him on Xavi, Iniesta level, for example, even for Spain. Like he's a Premier League legend. Let's not forget, he was part of the Spain squad in 2012. He was part of a great Manchester City team where he was vital. He played a vital role, maybe not in the last season, but overall on 17-18 and 17-18 and 18-19, he was fantastic. He was never a liability for his team. So I think where he's rated right now is appropriate, because I don't see too many people calling him the greatest midfielder of all time or top 5 all time or anything. But I do see a fair amount of praise, which honestly players like David Silva deserve that, because sometimes with midfielders, especially when they don't score a lot, they tend to be brushed off to the side. So I think we should respect him. I think he is a legend of the game. But I do agree with you. There have been to be honest, not to the full extent, because when you said Rio Ferdinand and Didier Drogba, and maybe yes, because they have the Champions League to their name, maybe that puts them on a certain status. But if you look at they don't have the international recognition that for example David Silva has. David Silva still has the Euros, right? So I feel like his career is a bit more well balanced, even if he doesn't have a European Cup. Which, by the way, he still has a chance this season if City win the Champions League. Then I think that will elevate his legacy way more. But yeah, overall, I think he's rated appropriately. I think he is a Premier League legend. I think he can sit on the table with Rio Ferdinand and Didier Drogba, but maybe not with Xavi and Iniesta in that conversation. You know what I mean? When it comes to Modric and Toni Kroos and these players, I feel like they have a higher status because they have they have that European dominance, they have domestic dominance, they have international accolades and accomplishments. And I hate to just mention trophies, but it's because when you're talking about legacy, it's hard not to mention these big moments. But when it comes down to it, he had a couple of good city squads that they could have won the Champions League, and I believe in 15-16, they could have won it in 17-18. 17-18 is the one where they really blew it, because 17-18 was when they got 16-17 was when they got knocked out by Monaco. Who did they get knocked out by in 17-18?
I think it wasn't Liverpool.
Oh yeah, it was Liverpool. Yeah, they got
thrashed. I think because it went. Yeah, it was Monaco, Liverpool, Tottenham.
Yep. Yeah. Well, the Tottenham one, even the Tottenham one, he sort of they kind of dropped the ball on that one too. They should have went through on that one. So he's had some great opportunities to really claim, that GOAT status, but he's failed. So in that aspect, he hasn't failed. You can't put failure with David Silva, because the player he's very much a winner. So yeah, I think he's rated appropriately. He's one of the greatest Premier League players of all time, midfielders of all time, and definitely a legend of the game.
Okay. Just person said, who is the greatest Spanish player in APL history? I think David Silva is up there. Torres could have been, but then he made his move to Chelsea. I think if Torres had stayed with Liverpool, it would have been Torres. But I think taking all things into account, yeah, you could argue that he's probably been the greatest and the best performing Spanish player in Premier League history. Abdullahi,
yeah,
David Silva.
I think for me, he's a legend of the game in EPL. But to tell me he's one of the EPL great, no. There are far players better than David Silva. I can keep mentioning them: Steven Gerrard, Frank Lampard, Paul Scholes, Vieira, so Beckham. So there are a lot of players who are better than David Silva, far better than him. So he's a legend of the EPL, yes. But telling me greatest player in EPL, I don't know, Thierry Henry too. There are if I can mention almost 20 players or 50 players better than David Silva in EPL at the moment, who are far greater player than him. Yeah, he's a legend of the game, yes. But to tell me it's better than those better than EPL midfielder, no. He's good. He's a very good player, very good player. And his accomplishment as a player is he has won tons of trophies. The only trophy he hasn't won is the Champions League. He has already won all the trophies, the Premier League, the World Cup, the Hero, and everything. He has won everything as a player, and it's a huge accomplishment for him as a player of his caliber. He's a very good player for people, for the fans to say he's great, one of the greatest players in EPL. No. It's not even greater than midfielder at all, because there are far better midfielder who are far better than David Silva.
So would you rank Yaya Toure ahead of him?
You mean Yaya Toure of Man City ahead of David Silva? No. So David Silva kind of for me better than Yaya for me, because he has a longevity in football matters a lot. He has longevity than Yaya Toure. So I'll put David Silva ahead of Yaya Toure for me. But in terms of when you telling me greater midfielder, we have tons of players who are even better than David Silva. Apart from me being a Spanish player, we have tons of players in midfield who are better than David Silva. So for me, he's a legend of the game in EPL. And okay. Kudos to him, and his accomplishment talks for himself already. So he's a huge player for me.
All right, Gatlock. Gatlock.
Yeah. Sorry. David Silva, right?
Yep.
Look, he's okay. He's a great midfielder. He's a great Premier League midfielder. He's a great midfielder overall. I know he played a good part in the Euro 2012, and he has a World Cup. But how much role did he even play in that World Cup? To be fair, look, I'm mostly a Champions League dude, okay, and he's a good midfielder. I don't really think he's how do I put it? I don't think there's ever been a season where you're like, wow, this dude was the midfielder. This dude was that dude, you know? It's usually De Bruyne, Toure, sometimes they even kick in Fernandinho. So, like, there's not been that season where you just look and you're like, wow, David Silva was that dude that helped City do this or do that. So, I just think he's a very, very good midfielder, but I'm not going to put him as part of the elite because...
So would you put him in the category as Henry, Scholes, those dudes, Lampard?
No, because he's a level behind those guys. That's why I would say, because those guys those guys are legends for things they've done, things they are done consistently, or some clutch moments they've had. Darcy has not really had any of that. He's been a bit below consistent. He's been a bit below clutch. He's just that level 2, basically. Level 2 legend, you can say, of the Premier League. The level 1s are them, Henry and the rest, but he's just below them. He's good, but I just see him as more of like a passenger, to be fair, because he hasn't done anything that makes you be like, wow, this dude was that dude of the season, or he went on this run, or he broke this record, or something. So no, sorry.
Okay.
He's a great midfielder, sure, but no.
Okay, all right. Eye test. David Silva. Where do you rank him?
Yes. For me, I rate David Silva very highly. But I think people overrate him.
How highly?
Probably, I wouldn't put him in a Scholes, Yaya Toure's, Thierry Henry's. I'd probably put him maybe the level below, 2 levels below, or something like that. But for me, one of the reasons why I think he's overrated is because I also believe longevity is overrated. For me, I rate your peak.
I think we lost
Cesc Fabregas. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, yeah, we just lost it for a bit. Just repeat again. Go for it. Go
Yes.
for it.
So for me, I think one of the reasons why people overrate David Silva is because I also believe longevity is overrated. And I rate peak higher than I do longevity. And for me, Cesc Fabregas at his peak is a lot better than David Silva. Mesut Ozil at his peak is, for me, a lot better than David Silva. This guy got 19 assists in a Premier League with Olivier Giroud up front. Just imagine what he would do with Sergio Aguero up front. So for me, overrate David Silva is just because of longevity. But was he really that good in his peak? Like I wouldn't really say so. I would put a lot of players above him when it comes to peak. For me, he's not even Manchester City's best ever midfielder. Yaya Toure takes that for me.
So you put Yaya Toure ahead of him,
bro. For me, I have a controversial view on Yaya Toure. I think he's the best midfielder in Premier League history. Like for me, I'm telling you, this guy in at his best, bro. Other than Scholes is probably the only one that for me comes close to him. Yeah, but for me,
Actors, where you are, I think we lost you. Hello. Okay, Actors, we'll come out to you because I think your connection cut off. We'll come out to you. So loss, Colchoneros, David Silva, where do you rate him?
Yeah, can you hear me, Josh?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So David Silva, he's a tough one. I kind of agree with Gatlock in the sense that there's been too many seasons or like half seasons where he's been a passenger, but then I'd rank Yaya Toure above him, just above him, because Yaya Toure, remember he wasn't an attacking midfielder, he was a DM most of the time, and he'd come in clutch way more often than David Silva. And what's it taken for David Silva to get taken out the City lineup? It's just taken De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva to come in, and David Silva doesn't even get a reckoning. I know it's because he's got older, but it's taken just a few stars to get him out of the starting lineup. I know he had good seasons. Like I can remember the 11-12 season where he was probably the best midfielder in the league. Like I don't know if you remember, but do you remember the 6-1 at Old Trafford? That crazy assist to Dzeko. It was like the half volley assist through ball. Yeah, like in that season he was on fire. And I think it was the 13-14 season. But yeah, domestically he's been good. He's kind of like Aguero. Domestically he's been good, but in the CL, he can you come up with a performance where he's come clutch in the CL? I can't. And for Spain, he's decent for Spain, but I'd put Yaya Toure just above him personally.
Okay, LB, David Silva. One of the greatest players in Premier League history, or people are overrating him?
When you say greatest players, are you saying midfielder or just overall?
Overall, where does he rank? Would you rank him as one of the legends of the Premier League game, or that's overrated, calling him a legend?
I think look, in my opinion, I think David Silva has been slightly overrated. I'm not discrediting anything that he's been able to achieve over the last few seasons, especially when he's been captain. But he really needs that Champions League. This season, he might he might deliver that Champions League. But even if you look at his days for being a Spanish player, I think that he asked whether he played a role in that 2010 World Cup. He was merely a bench player back then in that 2010 World Cup. He had a phenomenal 2012 Euros, but in terms of a Premier League player, I wouldn't say he's the best player. I think there are so many other players who've been able to perform better than him, like Yaya Toure, two of them obviously having played in the same team. To be honest, I think I would go as far as to say that Fernando Torres achieve more with
But then how long was his peak though? His peak didn't last as long though. That's the thing. And also he missed an open goal for Chelsea. So
he missed an open goal, but then he redeemed himself by scoring that winner in 2012 in the semi-final. And I'm sure HH was very happy with that. So then he had the Champions League as well, of course. You know, he got them in the Champions League and then they won the final. So yes, longevity for Torres wasn't as good as David Silva's. But like I said before, I think David Silva has been slightly overrated. That's just my opinion.
Stodge, David Silva. What is your rank? Is he a Premier League legend? Stodge.
Yeah, he's a definite Premier League legend. I don't think it's that. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's a definite Premier League legend. It's not that hard to be a Premier League legend. I think people are slightly overrating the Premier League. I don't think the Premier League has had many great players, and he's played in a much better era than Henry, considering that Arsenal, pretty much their entire team was Serie A flops. Bergkamp, a flop at Inter Milan, Vieira, a flop, Henry, a flop. So you're talking about a league back in the day that was like a third-rate league. So, you know, the Premier League's not that difficult. Crouch is a legend in the Premier League. I mean, he's already been, I think he's going to get inducted. So I think it's very disrespectful. I think people are overrating the Premier League by not putting David Silva in that category. So he's definitely a legend. I put him above Drogba easily. I think he was a very overrated player.
Stop, relax. You're talking about the most clutch player of all time. You're talking about the most clutch player of all time.
Listen, when you're a centre, I'm talking about a player that got outscored by a midfielder called Lampard pretty much every season, and you say you don't rate Lampard. So how can you rate Drogba? He's meant to be the striker. That's the guy I'm on about.
It's when you score.
He's I think he's also above Yaya Toure. He's outlasted Yaya Toure. Yeah. I mean, not when you're a striker. Strikers, how many? Yeah, he's a definite legend. I think we need to start giving him credit. And basically, my point is the reason why is that he wouldn't be a legend in Serie A. He wouldn't be a legend probably. Well, maybe in La Liga because he's Spanish. But some leagues he wouldn't be a legend. But it's just the standards in the Premier League. The Premier League have never had that many great players. Because I'll put it like this. Better players have touched the MLS than the Premier League in terms of names.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Pele has been to the MLS. Beckenbauer, Pirlo. I mean, I could list off some of the greatest legends in the MLS. And does the Premier League even have a top 20 player of all time? Listen, man, does the Premier League have a top 20 player of all time? That's a question I'm going to ask you, HH. Is there a top 20 player that's ever played in the Premier League? Who?
Yes.
Top 20 all time?
Cristiano.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, him. That's it. There's not many. That's my point. If you go to Serie A, you could just list off a bunch. La Liga, you could list off a bunch. But the Premier League ain't all that, man.
Yeah, I mean that's
just reality.
That's tough, man. Because for me personally, I would put Cristiano top 20, but that's a very good point. As an all-time, how many all-time how many top 20 players all-time are there in the Premier League? I don't know whether there are that many, man.
I guess you're right. Hazard was not one of them at all.
You think of Ronaldo, you think of Pele, you think of Maradona, you think of Ronaldinho, you think of Messi, you think of Lothar Matthäus. A lot of these guys did play in the Premier League. So how many actual all-time... That's why I keep telling people that to be most of the greats of all time played for either Real Madrid or Barcelona. And even if they played in the Premier League before, they had to go through Real Madrid and Barcelona. Real Madrid and Barcelona have housed the most all-time players of all time in both of their clubs. So, yeah. Okay, so let's just run this now. So, boy, I'm Ham, David Silva.
I'm actually upset with what you guys have been saying about David Silva, because this guy is a phenomenal player. He is a cat. Okay? center attacking mid. How many cams of his generation have actually survived? He came up with people like Mata, dead. He came out with people like Ozu, dead. This guy, I don't understand what he's got. What's it? I think he's got 200 goal involvements in 400 games in the Premier League. What are you guys talking about? That is insane. He's an amazing
I'm talking
player.
about overall, dude.
Yes, I am talking about overall. He's been amazing. He's an amazing player.
My friend, where do you rank him? My friend, where do you rank him?
Easily a Premier League great. Easily. And even I'm sure at Valencia they'll still say he was a club great. Just from the little time he was there. This guy set up David Villa to win the top goal scorer for how many seasons? He was good. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. He was good in Spain. He's good in England. He's an amazing.
Where do you rank him? So do you rank him in the same category as Cristiano, Henry? Do you put him in that same category?
Henry is not in the same category as Ronaldo. What are you talking about? He's in the same. David Silva is in the same category as Henry, but not Cristiano Ronaldo. He's not a great. He is a Premier League legend, though, and a club.
We're talking in the Premier League. Thierry Henry is a Premier League great. Are you putting
that's David Silva as well. David Silva as well.
So wait, because you're putting David Silva on the same level as Thierry Henry based on what they've done in the Premier League.
Yes. This guy is part of the team that beat Ferguson 6-1. He's part of the team that got 100 points. He's part of the team that got 98 points. What are you talking about? This guy is amazing.
Okay, look, fair enough.
Okay, hold on. He was part of the team. How much?
I'm not going to write through, but
contribute to that.
But wait. But it is, trust me, that is something to think about. And also, someone in the live chat said, you see, for me, people will attack me for this. It is what it is. I don't rank Cristiano top 20. Ashley Cole. I rank Ashley Cole as one of the best left backs of all time. So yes, I think Ashley Cole is the only dude who I would say is probably a top 20 all-time player of all time who played in the Premier League. Because
I'm sorry, come again. Come again. You say you don't rank Ronaldo top 20 in the Premier League.
That's just no. This is all time. So basically, because the
all time you don't rank.
No.
Boy, he won a World Cup in 2002. I mean, come on.
As I'm talking Cristiano.
Okay, then I guess the content crack has really got into you, WH. Sorry.
Wait, LB, what do you say, LB?
Is he better than Marcelo in your opinion as a left back?
Yes, Ashley Cole. Yes, I've never viewed Marcelo as a great left back. Marcelo is a great player, not a great left back. Ashley Cole is an amazing left back. He's an idiot as a person, but he is he's one of the best. He's the best left back I've ever seen.
I forgot to tell you something. Look, there have been some investigations about you and what you did today about the Wolves match fixing.
I didn't.
And we're going to be talking to Devil soon about bumping you up because match fixing is not allowed.
I didn't do anything. I'm completely innocent.
There's investigations. If we find anything against you, you might be in trouble. You might be staying there longer than expected, man. And your videos to Buffon and the rest who are there already, you might actually have to do more than community service to get out of there. So we're just warning you, just telling you. Okay, this is like cities warning about the FFP. We'll see.
No. Look, I'll put it for myself. So guys, before we do some sale talk, it's quite funny. It just shows the lack of football knowledge that guys have in his live chat. So guys think that it's a crazy thing to say Ashley Cole is a better left back than Marcelo. People don't understand that a left back is a defender. Marcelo is a quality player. But as far as positioning, tackling, and defending, he doesn't sniff Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole in terms of working on both ends, is flipping amazing. So It is absolutely insane for you guys to say that Marcelo is a better left back, not better player, which is different. Not a more skillful player, or not someone better going for a better left back than Ashley Cole. Ashley Cole is one of the best left backs of all time. One of the best left backs of all time.
Can I say something? Can I say something real quick about that?
Yeah, go for it, Red. Go
Can
for
I
it.
say something real quick about that? Yeah, like, and this is coming from a Madrid fan that's seen both players play. Ashley Cole.
You, Red. Boost your mic. Your mic is quite low. Red, boost your mic. Boost your mic.
Okay. Give me a sec.
Okay. So it's like guys have to put some respect on Ashley Cole's name. So I want to now transition out to some CL talk. I want to transition to some CL talk now. So here's my thing with this. I want to talk about the Oos. So Setien is fighting for his life. Okay. Or rather, people as they call him, Saint-Étienne. Saint-Étienne is fighting for his life. And he knows that if he doesn't bring home the CL, he's sacked. So it's either CL or you're sent packing. And I believe that as much as you love him or hate him, the Oos is going to be very important for Barcelona. Griezmann has shown that he's a side chick. Cannibal can't be trusted. And the rest of the team, it is what it is. And we've seen against Roma and against Liverpool, Messi cannot possibly do this all by himself. So here is my question for the panel. Do you believe the Oos will come up big and be crucial for Barcelona, or you think that the Oos isn't enough to lead Barcelona past either Napoli, Bayern Munich, or most likely Juventus or Man City in the semi? I'll come first to your boy Red with this. Red.
Yeah. So you guys can hear me better right now,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So when it comes to Ousmane Dembele, like, look, it's hard for me to really dictate how good this player is anymore because he is no longer the same player that he was at Dortmund a couple of years ago, like back in 16-17. And the reason for that is it's not even the fact that I think he declined at Barca. I feel like he's physically a different player. Back when he was at Dortmund, he was still shorter. He was a shorter player than what he is right now. He had that low center of gravity. His dribbling was much better. It was more dynamic. Now he's grown. He's actually gotten taller, which that's affected his play because the bigger you are, the harder it is for you to have that close controlled dribbling. So it's I want to see how he evolves his game. The thing is, he's under great tutelage at Barca. Barca is like a team that's primarily focused on positioning because like your off the ball movement, in addition to like the team play with passing, is very critical. So like they don't really rely on individual brilliance, like say like a Real Madrid would, where they want you to make those runs behind. They want you to take a risk. Whereas Barca, it's a more fixed system where like you pass and move. You want to sort of make sure the other team's formation gets all messed up where you can make those runs and behind those lob balls. So if he can adapt his game, I feel like he's a fantastic player. He's ambidextrous. His passing, his final ball. Actually, I feel like it needs a little bit of work. Like there's been a ton of times at Barca where like when he's in the final third, he does mess up a little bit, but he also has had like incredible moments of brilliance. Like I still to this day, one moment that people sleep on is at the Super Cup against Sevilla. It was 1-1, and Ousmane Dembele won it with like just a brilliant kick. So I don't know if he could lead them to the promised land. I don't know about that because like I said, he's been out of commission for sort of like rating PSG. It's hard for me to rate PSG because I haven't seen them play for months. Like they played a couple of matches here and there, friendlies, and then they had the final the other day. But like you really can't see the style of play. Where I could say, City are
Le Havre. They played a team called Le Havre.
Yeah, who I don't even know what that team is. Like I'm pretty sure
no one does.
So like yeah, there you go. So like I'm definitely not gonna know who they are. So like when it comes to these kind of like things, you have to really see how they are recently. And with Dembele, like I don't know how good he's gonna actually be in the Champions League. So Promised Land, I don't know. I can't. I'm not gonna put any money on it, to be honest with you, because his stint at Barca hasn't been. It's not what he wanted it to be. And one thing on what you were saying earlier, Ashley Cole is definitely a better left back than Marcelo. I'm a Madrid fan,
a Real Madrid fan,
and I love Marcelo. I can name like the best Marcelo. Marcelo is one of my favorite players of all time. But like as a left back, like what people think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is, Ashley Cole actually was. He was a beast. Like that flank was shut down. Like one of the best matches you could actually go back and watch. If you want to watch some classic matches, go watch Ronaldo's battles with Ashley Cole, which most of the time would end up with Ashley Cole on top. Like
no. So Red, please tell people on this, because I told you the level of defending has fallen down. Because I remember this. This was peak Cristiano. Peak Cristiano. Ashley Cole had Cristiano in his pocket every single game. Every single game.
And this was no. Like peak Cristiano dribbling wise.
Talk baby.
No. When the Cristiano that we're talking about is like, yes, Ronaldo completed himself as a player with goal scoring and everything at Madrid, but like when it comes to dribbling and just like that rawness, this was back when Ronaldo was the face of street football. When he was actually on the face of FIFA Street cover and the FIFA Street 2. This is that Ronaldo, the Ronaldo that had like 27 dribbles in a single match. And Ashley Cole would tie him down. He was so agile and so quick. He could just lock down on any player. And this was a Chelsea team that, if you were like, not only at Chelsea, at Arsenal he was phenomenal. Goes to Chelsea and he was even phenomenal. And for England he was incredible. Like he was always just so consistent across the board. He's easily the greatest left back that I've probably seen. Like for a defensive position, because like of course when you get to Marcel, it's kind of hard because Marcel is more of an attacking fullback. But like when you come to the actual technical definition of the term, by default, Ashley Cole is going to be superior because defensively he was just a rock. Like, don't forget that Chelsea team that conceded 16 goals, 17 goals in the season. Like, just to give you guys how crazy that is, that means every third match Chelsea only conceded 1 goal. Like, so it takes 3 matches for Chelsea to concede 1 in the league season, pretty much. That's like as close as you get. Like, that is insane. Of course, you have to give credit to John Terry, which I think also is a very underrated center back, and it's because of his off-field antics is what really hurt his legacy. Carvalho, like, yes, they had a great backline, but Ashley Cole was always praised for what he was always considered probably like the best in the bunch. Maybe John Terry because he was a captain, he got a little bit of hype, but everybody knew, the people watching, how amazing he was. Go back and watch for yourself. Like it's hard to really explain because like in that era, stats and like the players weren't like watched under a microscope like they are today, where we analyze, they had this many dispossessions and this many tackles and this many interceptions and this many, and they covered this much ground. Yeah, it wasn't like that back then, but when you saw, it's clear to see that this player locks anybody up. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
So wait, let me just hit some of these switches I've missed on. So from your boy Daniel Henkel, who says Silva is a Premier League legend. Top 10 all-time Premier League midfielders. Maybe. If you're saying midfielder, maybe. But there have been some very high-tier midfielders in the Premier League. So but I have to think about that. But maybe. From VT2, who said, Juve already winning the 2020-2021 season. Let's be real. Yes, they are. Because, and we'll get to this here. We'll get to that trash league rounding off. And from I love this, from Grell Sobrak, Cole has 4 wins with Ronaldo. Ronaldo 8 v Cole. Fools. No, you're the fool, you moron. Because in those wins, was it primarily Cristiano who engineered those wins? So all because he had more wins as a team doesn't mean that he won his own personal battle. I will repeat to you. Yes, Cristiano definitely made Cole do the splits, made him do crazy stuff, but more times than not, Ashley Cole shot Cristiano down, both club and internationally. Both international and club, Cristiano didn't sniff. He couldn't get past Ashley Cole. And there were times when Ashley Cole actually did the whole gesture of like, bro, I've got this dude in my pocket, man. This good ain't doing nothing. Gatlock, the Oos. Can the Oos save Barcelona? Can he lead Barca to CL victoire?
Red.
Yo.
Red.
Yo.
What did you say about the first thing you said about him in Dortmund? About him not being the same. He's not the same person,
as in physically he was different. He was underdeveloped physically.
So okay. He was not the same person. Double H. The Us is not the Us. Okay, he ain't the same person you saw in Dortmund. Okay, this dude ain't leading them to shit. Okay, because bro, what's he going to lead them to, man? Wasn't he in that Roma spanking? Wasn't he also in that Liverpool spanking as well?
He was.
Like, wasn't not him that Messi gave the chance to make it 4-0 at Camp Nou?
Are we going back to this?
Are we going back to what? Something that was last year?
Yes, I was going back. That it was a long.
You talk about 2010. I'm talking about something else last
He wasn't
year.
even fully fit. Please look. Don't use that thing. Please look. Move
Double H, you get angry at. Look, Double H was 1-on-1. I don't care if you are half fit. You are supposed to put that ball into the net.
Look, my friend, and who saved this team, man? Let's answer the question, man.
He ain't saving shit, man. I just told you already. He ain't saving shit, man. Because look, he's a good player. That's Dios is a good player, but this dude gets injured more times than I can count, man. Like seriously, he has spent more time in the clinic than actually on the pitch since he moved to Barcelona. So look, I've not seen enough of him to actually say he's going to save anybody. Okay, I rather depend on Griezmann than the Us, dude. Okay, because look, you see, I hate bashing on someone like the Us than Dembele. I'm not calling him the Us. I hate bashing on someone like Dembele because the guy is actually a very good player, but dude, he hasn't done shit for Barcelona. Okay, he has just been as much of a flop as Coutinho.
Whoa, so, no, don't you dare say that.
Yes.
The US has single-handedly won games for Barcelona. I can show you.
What games? What games? List the games. Tell me the games.
Don't put him on the same category as Coutinho.
Double H. Tell me the games. Which games has he won?
In the El Clasico, he provided a key assist, and he was the best player and the most important player in one of the. I think both, but there was the one Clasico where he was a key player, and there are Red brought up the game against Sevilla, the games in which he has scored.
Sevilla in a Super Cup, Double H, a Super Cup, the Spanish Community Shield.
It's still more than Coutinho. It is still more than what Coutinho was a big fat flop. The US has done more than Coutinho. Relax. We'll carry on.
I don't know what you can tell me that the US has done that you think you do something in the Champions League. I'm sorry, I just can't see it.
So basically, you're saying he's not that he won't do anything in the Champions League. Is that what you're saying?
I highly doubt it. Unless he proves me wrong, but I highly doubt it because I've not seen him do anything. Okay, he hasn't done anything yet, so I'm not going to put that as some magic stuff that he's just going to all of a sudden turn up for Barcelona. Okay.
So
but he's been part of the system that's flopped.
So without the US, can Barcelona win the Champions League with what they have? Do you believe Messi can carry this team all the way without the US then?
With or without the US, I don't think this team is doing anything in the Champions League. But look, it is one leg, so who knows? But I highly doubt it.
Okay, so before I come to loss from VT2 says R9 was overhyped. He's the Immobile of today, HH. Yeah, but he does have a World Cup medal. How many World Cup medals does Christina have and Messi have? None. How many World Cup knockouts goals do they have? None. Yeah, I think I'll take my goals over those international flop frauds. Coach, Us, can he lead Barca to victory?
Dembele. The thing about Dembele is he can be a quality player when he wants to be, but you can't rely on a kid who spent the last 3 years in a hospital bed. Like, it's not happening, HH. Like, and you have to put in context. He's coming back from a 7-8 month layoff, and you expect him to perform in a Champions League knockout game or for the highest intensity. Like, that's a big demand right there. So, he'll definitely provide an alternative to Griezmann flop, and like he'll definitely be another option because Barcelona are definitely lacking a natural winger, so he'll help in that sense. But to expect him to come clutch, I can't see it happening. No.
Okay. LB.
Ousmane Dembele. Look, I don't know why he's not making use of Griezmann and the partnership that they can, really put to the table, and because obviously fellow countrymen, but both players have obviously been struggling themselves individually for the last few months with Barcelona. In terms of whether the Us can lead Barcelona to victory, look, I don't think so, to be honest. He's a very talented player, but you're going to have to rely more than just one or two players. If the Us remains fit and he doesn't get injured, it's going to be really good for Barcelona, but whether he can lead them to Champions League glory, I don't think so. They can beat Lyon. I think they should be. Sorry, are they playing Lyon?
No, Napoli.
Napoli, sorry, they're playing Napoli. I think they can beat Napoli, but no, they're going to have to change a whole lot of other things if they want to win the Champions League and do more than just rely on those.
All right. Where are we? Stodge. The Us. Do you believe in the Us? Do you still believe in the Us? Do you? I mean,
No.
are you against all these doubters who doubt the ambidextrous king?
No. He stinks. He's rubbish. Trash. I don't know what you're on about. This dude is finished. I'm done with
George,
him.
relax, chill. Okay, have hope.
I mean, Barca are better off playing with 10 men. He showed what he done against Roma. Absolute trash. Against Barcelona, they gave him an easy chance, fluffed his lines. He can't make basic passes. Throw him. He needs to be recycled. Get wherever you can. They'd be lucky to get 20 million for this dude. Garbage. He needs to be put into the Barcelona recycling system. He's finished. Just get wherever they can and move forward. Maybe they can get some funds for Neymar. One biggest flop in football history, in my opinion. He's done nothing. He's in hospital bed.
Yes, George,
Contributed
relax.
nothing. He's rode on the coattails of Messi, and
What?
Messi's delivered him a couple of trophies without him contributing anything. That's what's happened here. He hasn't helped Messi this season. He hasn't helped Messi in the Champions League, and this is a £150 million signing. He is finished, HH. He is finished. He's no longer the prodigy's rival. He's never going to win a Ballon d'Or. He'd be lucky to play at Tottenham at the level he's at now. He's done as a player.
What about this? What about Barca steals your talent? Look what they did to Ibra, Coutinho, Griezmann, all these players who've come through and have flopped. Maybe it's the Barca effect.
So why don't you give those same players the
All of
same excuse, Double H? Why don't you give those same players
Dialogue.
some
Is the mic
excuse?
with you? Is the mic with you? Shoot your mouth. Stodge.
All those players are better than him. People didn't like Ibra. He wasn't actually that much of a flop. He scored goals. Coutinho scored more goals than him. Griezmann already scored more goals than him. This is, without a doubt, £100 million signing. The biggest flop in football history. This is what is all hype, clearly. He I don't know. Dortmund just tricked him. I'm looking at the guy. I'm seeing the biggest flop in football history.
Coutinho is the biggest flop in history.
No.
This guy, he's the biggest football flop in history.
No.
Okay, so. All right, okay.
This guy.
All right, eye test. So eye test. Using the eye test, and I know that you use the eye test. So using the eye test, don't you believe that the US can do something for Barcelona using the only thing in football that means anything? Eye test, not the thing that most of these flipping brainless losers use, which are dumbass stats. Eye test.
Have hope.
Bro, your eye test is backed up with shit, man.
Relax. Eye test. Take the mic, bro.
Just like you, bro. I believe in the ooze. For me, this guy is top 5 most talented players in the world.
Thank you.
Top 5 most talented players in the world. And listen, I'm a peaceful guy, yeah. But this guy, Gatlock and Stutch, I think their names are. Like, for them to act, to say these stuff about Ousmane Dembele, like he's trash, he's nothing, biggest flop in football history. I have to question whether these lot know football. This guy is unbelievable. 2-footed. Unbelievable ball control.
These guys are sleeping, man. These guys are sleeping on this boy, man.
I'm telling you, bro. Kike Setien even said when he watches this guy in training, he cries. He cries when he watches Ousmane Dembele.
You say that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but guys. Kike Setien's also like he's an interview merchant. All he does is just go out and be like,
"Red man,
I study Cruyff."
Can you stop messing with the
No,
narrative?
it's true. His testimony is actually not worth anything because other guy all he does is just say things to
man,
please
can you
people.
please don't mess with the narrative? I test, please continue the narrative, please. Thank you.
But for me, I think the injuries are a worry. And I heard he also has a gaming addiction PlayStation 5 is coming out soon, and I hope that doesn't affect his career. I really do pray that doesn't affect his career. I heard there's a new Xbox as well. It looks ugly, but
it's trash. It's called the Xbox fridge. It's trash. I don't think those will be getting that, but he'll get into the PS5 though. So yeah, good points. Good points.
So hopefully that doesn't affect his career. So, but all I want is for Ousmane Dembele to realize that he has one chance to have a good career. He has all the talent there is. Everyone talks about Kylian Mbappe, but for me, this guy is the real deal in France in terms of talent. This guy is more talented than Mbappe. I rate Mbappe very highly. He's the real deal. If all he needs to do is just realize his potential and fix up with the injuries. And in terms of the Champions League, bro, I think you can't count him out. But the only worry is that he's been out for a very long time. I don't know if that will affect him. But if he does, HH, I think we need to change his name from the Ooze to Ousdinho. Yeah? After all the hate this guy got, if he wins the Champions League, he needs to be changed to Ousdinho. I want Gatlock, I think his name is. And
yes,
the other guy,
that's his name. Or Bricklock. Bricklock is his other name.
To say it with their chest, Ousdinho. I want that to happen if he wins the Champions League. But yeah, I believe
if it's Ousdinho, he should win the Champions League. Don't say if.
No, and also
Gatlock, man, don't shush him out.
If you guys want them to do that, then
rubbish, man.
What happens if he flops, HH? What happens
I've talked rubbish.
Call him.
You guys and your silly ITES that will be backing Morata. You're talking about ITES that is blood glasses, man.
Look, my friend Edu, please talk. Can Ousmane Dembele help Barca to see a victory?
He definitely can. Barcelona as a club need to give him more confidence. I don't think they've believed in him, to be honest. It's sad, to be honest, because at Dortmund, what I was saying was unbelievable. He even played at times. He played like as an attacking midfielder, and he was just amazing. Like the creativity, the passing, the vision. He can beat his man. He has all the tools. They need to they need to believe in him more. I don't think Valverde did a good job of that in the first place. They didn't have the South American connection they had with Neymar up top. So I don't think Suarez and Messi accepted him as they should. They didn't bring him in the way they did Neymar. So I don't know. I don't know. He can do something, but his career.
Is he good enough to lead Barca? Is he good enough to give Messi the help he needs to lead them all the way to CL win? That's what I want to know. Does he have the talents to do it, or you don't think he's good enough to be Messi's partner?
He has the talent. I think you brought up that game in the Clasico where he absolutely destroyed Carvajal. Nobody could you could not guard him. Nobody could take him. He was too good 1v1. He was beating his man. He provided the assist. I don't know. Satan is a brick, so I don't think he can do anything. It's Messi FC here, to be honest. If Messi doesn't rise, Barcelona are going home. Simple.
Okay. From a boy Natsamo says HH has brought his Nigerian brothers to back him. Well, Gatlock is Nigerian and he's against me, so Gatlock is ruining that narrative with his nonsense takes. I'm
trying to save us.
I am because you're deluded. You've talked. My friend, you've talked. I'm Ham. The Us lead and help thingy to victory? Ham, please say something. Say at least one sensible thing in this hangout. Just one sensible thing in this hangout. Go for it.
Take that advice yourself,
AJ, I already said it before. I blame Messi not for with Us actually, but I don't think these guys are gonna go over Napoli, and I still think Napoli is gonna beat. Okay, even if the Us is there, he's been injured for a long time, but Ousmane Dembele is such a talent. I don't understand why people are just writing this guy off, even though what he's done on the field, his ability, is just insane. Any team happy to have him, but because they have a toxic, that club is just toxic. I don't know what can fix it, but in my opinion, either need to. I think once Messi goes, I think things can be fixed, man. Because like the whole dependence on Messi is just overboard. But like this guy is only struggling because of the toxic environment that is around, and I think he also has a color issue there in Barcelona. So that's also something. But yeah, man, I really think this guy is a very good player. I think this guy, if he was in any other team and they were getting Koeman back for the Champions League, I would say that is good. But at Barcelona, I'm like, nah. Still gonna go through Messi. It's still gonna be about Messi, and still gonna fail through Messi.
Okay. On comment, let me just hit the super chat from your boy Hank. Was the Oos will be at Plymouth in 3 years' time. HTH. Daniel Hankel, relax. That's being very disrespectful and being very rude. I want to. Red, is your mic working there, bro? Red, is your mic working? Can you hear me? Okay, cool. I can hear you. Okay. So I want to. We're building up. We're coming very, very close to Man City and Real Madrid. So with every week, I'm going to just gauge the feeling of the round, reading the room. So we're a few, I think, 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away for the game. So the game is going to go ahead. Despite there being like a COVID scare in Spain, the game will still go ahead at the Etihad Stadium. So both teams have finished their season, and now they're building up for this second leg. Are you confident? Do you have confidence that Real Madrid can turn this around? Because this is where I still stand, and I don't think I will change this by the time August comes around. Is that I think Real will run them close. I think Real will definitely score, but I just don't think they can do it. But as people have said, Aguero, he's been a flop in the CL, but no Aguero. That is a huge goal scorer out of there. So, Red, how are you feeling coming into this game? Aguero injured, but knowing that De Bruyne is in the form of his life, do you still feel that you can deal with De Bruyne and turn this game around?
So going into this game, I think City are favorites. They're 51 to 49% favorites by like 1%, 2%, sorry, advantage on Madrid just for that one goal. That's the only thing is like had we played them in February, we would have absolutely been knocked out. We would have absolutely been, because no Ramos, our team hadn't really just meshed well. But this past run of games,
isn't Ramos suspended for this game?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. No Ramos, because in February, because we would have had to play with Militao and Varane, which at the time Militao hadn't really meshed well with the team. But after these past run of games, Militao's level has increased greatly. The team has been playing better as a whole. I feel like it's gonna be a hard game for City, because I still feel I don't know why I still feel that City are gonna go through. But at the same time, I don't think we're going to make it easy for them. Because if the away goals is still in progress, then it's our advantage. Because if we just score 3 goals, instantly we nullify their 2 goals, and now we have the away goal rule in our favor, right? And
but do you really believe that you can get 3 goals at the
Etihad? Absolutely, we can get 3 goals. Absolutely, we can get 3 goals. No. It's just
serious, dude?
Yeah. We
against City.
Yeah. 100%. City defend with possession. City don't look, when you look at, let's say, for example, I'll commend Liverpool for their defensive record, because Liverpool actually defend as a unit and their pressing is elite. City just have the ball and they don't give you the ball, and that's why their defense is so good, is because the other teams don't carry the ball. With Madrid can actually maintain the ball and they can challenge them in possession. City might edge us because they're more of a possession-based team, but at the same time, we'll cause them a lot of problems because every time we're hitting them on the counter. Look, Vinicius is a problem. Hazard, fully fit, is a problem. Asensio's Champions League record is actually insane. If you look at the teams, this guy scored against Juve, this guy scored against Bayern, he scored in finals, he scored against Roma. He's always been consistent in the Champions League. He's going to be a problem. And especially Benzema, the season that he's having, City are going to have a hard time defending us. And plus, Madrid are much more dynamic in our attack. We don't rely on long balls and just running behinds. Our build-up is very complex.
Vinicius will be key.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing is Vinicius is getting. I'm not really actually. Vinicius is more of a. I think he can beat his man 1v1. But when I'm talking about the danger that we provide, is more with Modric and Benzema and Isco and Hazard and Marcelo. These 5 players have an ability to where they can very improvise on the spot and create with individual brilliance. And really, it's very hard for defenders to pick up on that. The way we stretch the lines and create more space for our midfielders. And like overall, like our team has just been so solid. I just find it hard to believe that like we're just gonna roll over for City like that, especially because given our away record, like our team, like we're better away from home. So going to the Etihad is not going to be a problem for us. It's not really an issue. And this is not to dismiss like the Etihad or what, like, but it's just facts. Madrid is always plays better away from home. Even last year when we got knocked out by Ajax, we beat them at their home stadium. Like so I'm not like I feel pretty comfortable going to this match. Like I'm actually excited to watch it. It's going to be an amazing match. And plus like people forget in the last game, City, like we outplayed City. They just got lucky in the last 10 minutes and they were able to nick a penalty, and that's it. And we were resting Cruz for the El Clasico, and Cruz didn't play. Had Cruz played, it would have a completely different game. Cruz is one of our best midfielders this season. So
okay. So Armchair Critic says, thank you for super chats. Armchair Critic who says City, Barca, Juventus, PSG, Chelsea to go through. Interesting. Okay, interesting. Gatlock. Do you really believe Real Madrid can turn this around with no Aguero, or you think that the game was already lost in the first leg with conceding 2 away goals at the Bernabeu?
Ramos not being there is going to be a problem, but look, it is possible because City's defense. There's always a possibility with City's defense, man. Okay. They have Otamendi back there, man, and Fernandinho. So anything's possible. Double H. Would they do it? I don't know. It's too tight to call. I can see this thing going to extra time. I don't know. I can see this thing probably going to extra time. Who will nick it in penalties? Maybe Real Madrid. Who knows? It could be Real Madrid. Real Madrid can't do it if they will. It depends.
So,
it depends on how.
But who are you leaning with, though? Where is your gut telling you? Are you leaning more towards City or towards Real Madrid? Where are you leaning towards more?
It should be funny if Real Madrid wins it, just for Pep. But I think Pep knows that his back is against the wall. Okay, he knows deep down. He knows he can't turn up to the end of the season with just Carabao Cup. He can't. So he has to do something against City. So I'm going to lean with City.
Okay.
Even though deep down I actually want Real Madrid to win, but I think I'm going to go with City, objectively.
All right. From your boy Natsa, who says, "Red, you're smoking. You did not outplay us."
The game. If you go back and watch the game, like there was periods where Madrid.
I remember the game being pretty even.
That's what I'm saying, but like I didn't want to dismiss it. Like I felt like at moments in time, I felt like in the last 10 games, because like I felt like it was going to be a draw the whole match because the way it was going back and forth. City obviously they like I said they're going to adjust on possession because that's more their style. But overall, in the dying moments of the game, it was a penalty that decided it, right? Like it was very harsh. It's not like we got like obliterated. Like that's why I'm saying like a 2-1 lead is very deceiving. Actually, I feel like that's much more. It's a dangerous scoreline to go in with because, like I said, if Madrid go and just score 2 goals, that's it. 2 goals, their away goal advantage is gone. And then once it's 2 goals, in the players' mind, in their mentality, it's 0-0 and it's advantage Madrid because any goal we get at that point is going to be harder because City are going to have to score 2. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like it's always, I feel like it's more advantageous, especially because like the only reason the away goal really is beneficial is if you have the crowd behind you, which that's also going to be a hit against City because they're not going to have the crowd behind them because they're going to be playing in an empty stadium. So it's advantage Real Madrid mentally as well because they're going to go play in an empty stadium.
But Red, see, the thing is about will you actually score 2 goals because your run of games to win the La Liga is mostly been 1 goal. Or at least scoring the 2 goals, but you guys usually concede.
Not with Hazard playing. Not with Hazard. When Hazard plays, we score more, and that's a fact. No, Hazard will play because like Hazard's not injured. He could not rock.
You still believe in Hazard this season?
Yeah, you saw Hazard when he started in the game. Benzema scored a brace. Hazard, like when Hazard starts, the team. I know that people will talk about Hazard's individual stats, but when you look at his impact on the game, like a goal that's been going around Twitter a lot right now is the goal against PSG. Where Hazard, he created that whole opportunity where he passed it to Valverde, which went to Carvajal, which cut back and led to Benzema scoring. But that was pretty much Hazard's brilliance that created that whole run of play. When it comes to that, We can score more than one goal. Not only that, in Madrid, anybody can score on you. Our whole squad, whether it's Ramos, Varane, Carvajal, Marcelo, Mendy, Benzema, everybody can score. All of these players are on the score sheet. We broke the record for 21 goal scorers in a single season. That's insane. Anybody on our team has the ability to score. So
can score against.
But like what I'm.
Anybody can score except Teletubbies.
Pardon?
I said anybody can score except Teletubbies, right?
Well, Hazard scored. He didn't score a lot, but he scored.
Okay, wait. I want to bring in Wilton here. So, Daniel Hankel says, reminder, Chelsea will be lubricated in Germany. Daniel, let's see what happens in the game, but I don't appreciate your negativity. Based on Chelsea qualifying for the Champions League, I think that I want more positivity from you. So why are you being so negative towards Chelsea? And if Chelsea do turn it around, I will remember that comment. Wilton C, do you have faith?
Yes, I have.
Real Madrid can turn this around, or do you think that it's already lost? It's too difficult.
No, it's not over yet. I still have faith that we can do it. If Liverpool could do it, anyone can do it. Even Chelsea can do it, so we all can do it. Like, we just have to believe in ourselves. Like, we without Real Madrid, there's no Champions League. Like, we're the greatest club of all time. We're gonna have to show our pride there. If we lose, I'm not gonna be upset. At least we're gonna show.
Liverpool did it at
Anfield. It's not gonna be an easy walk in the park for Manchester City. Yeah, I know they scored 100 goals this season, but the defense is kind of shaky. If we can just like sit back like Arsenal did against them in the FA Cup and just catch them on the counterattack, we have a chance. Like, obviously City are favorites to win it, but we still got a chance. Like, I'm not writing us off yet. Especially if we just need a glimpse of Zard. Like, I just need a glimpse of him. We can beat Man City. I don't want Eden. I need Zard. Zard. I don't need Eden right now, man. I need the Zard.
Didn't Zard play against City that gave them 6-0?
No, that wasn't Zard. That was Hazard. What's it called? City really scored 102 goals this season. That is insane. That is insane. 102 goals.
But they are still 18 points behind Liverpool.
Which is the point that me and Daniel were making. It's weird that Liverpool are so far ahead, but look at the goal difference. Look at how many goals City have scored.
Because when City beat a team, they just score 6-7 past them. But the only issue is if you score one, City are a glass cannon. Once you put one past City, they shake, they crumble, they because they're under pressure. But when they score 2 or 3, the other team gives up because they know the game's over.
No. Which is why it's going to be.
They lost to Chelsea, man.
The first goal. It's
going to be team that Sheffield beat later on.
Wait. Okay. So from your boy Natsa, who says we had 16 shots, 8 on target. You had 8 shots and 3 on target. I don't think you watched the game red.
Okay, so
Bayern had like 32 shots on Real Madrid's going that semi-final in 2018.
It doesn't matter.
But who still went to the final?
Like, I don't get it. Like, or when Arsenal played against De Gea and they had like 37 shots against De Gea, and then Manchester United still won. That doesn't mean anything. Overall play, you see the quality of the chances. If you actually, I hate to be that guy, but if you actually look at like the stats, they go like dangerous attacks. Madrid had more dangerous attacks than City. City just had more chances because that's just their like, again, they keep the ball, so they're gonna have more chances. But that doesn't mean anything. Like, having shots on target, we also have a better keeper, so you could shoot, and we'll be able to block it. So we have Courtois who will be able to get it, which is a better keeper than Ederson. Like, Ederson has more errors in him than Courtois. So all about this, it comes down to clinicality. Even if you have all those chances and you only finish 2-1, what does that mean? 18 shots, 8 on target, and only 2 goals, and one of them being a penalty. Come on, guys. Like, it's not just about how many shots you have. When you look at the overall run of play, Madrid had a lot of dangerous chances. We could have nicked that game at the end of the day. I don't know why people are just so offended by that fact. It's Real Madrid at the end of the day. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying that Real Madrid had a 50-50 match with City.
Okay.
You didn't win the game. Nobody said you didn't win the game. Nobody.
Oh, but okay, but we won the game. Red, stop it. No. But I think Nasser, the point he's making is it's not about winning the game. Is that he felt that Real Madrid had a better control and played better from his point of view than City did. From the game I watched, it felt very even. It felt very even. I think Real Madrid definitely dominated at a point, but I think City then sort of sucker punched them, and I think City then sort of got the better of the chances towards the end. But for me, it felt like a very even game, which is why this second leg is interesting, because I think this second leg is going to prove to be very, very evenish, because both teams are so closely put together. So, Coutinho's loss, City, Real Madrid, how are you viewing this game?
So yeah, as much as I hate to admit it, because I don't want to see Real in another final again, I have to say I can see something happening here. Like, I can see it's
So
definitely not
you
over.
so you believe Pep is going to flop yet again in the round of 16? Because
I'm not saying that. No, I'm not saying that, but something will happen in this game. But from Real Madrid's point of view, I think it's a good matchup for Zidane away from a home where they are historically better. And Zidane has adopted a more pragmatic approach this season. If you look at most of their La Liga games, so first of all, they're going to have a perfect defensive performance, and Hazard and Asensio, they're going to have to be on fire. And also, there's literally no pressure on Real Madrid. Like, they've won 3 CLs in a row already, 4 in 5 years, whilst Man City have all the pressure. So maybe that pressure will mount on them, and I do see something. It's definitely not over. I can see something this game.
Okay.
There's just one point here. You see, most of Real Madrid's away record that has been great, especially in the knockout stages in their past CLs, have been because they played away first leg. If
Not
you play away
really.
second leg, that's going to be tricky in this one.
I mean, we like it. I guess you are right, because like when you play away the first leg, you can probably rack up more goals, but at the same time, I feel like the away leg on the second for any team is always better, because now you know how many away goals you have to score more. You can go in with an objective, because when you're playing in a league format, you can be like, all we need is just a 1-0. It doesn't matter. The 3 points are 3 points. The goal difference means
true,
nothing in La Liga.
Okay.
But that stuff doesn't usually work all the time because.
Wait. We need
Barca
to
have
bring
been
it,
choking
guys. So, LB, thoughts on this? City, Real Madrid.
Yeah, I've been saying all along that I think it's Manchester City's time to go to the next step and to perhaps even win the Champions League. I think that Real Madrid will challenge City. They are in some pretty good form. Real Madrid, that is, obviously having won the La Liga title recently, and as what a couple of the guys were saying, over the last 3-4 seasons when they've been winning the Champions League, they've been performing well away from home. And on this occasion, they are playing away from home as well. Second leg, I'm not sure how much of a difference that's going to make. There's going to be no crowd, so no home ground advantage for Manchester City. I think it's going to be closer than what a lot of people think it's going to be, but I still think Manchester City should be able to get it done. It'll be a tough game.
Okay. What's it called? Edu. Man City, Real Madrid. Who do you see having the edge?
It has to be. I'm going with Madrid just because of Zidane. This guy, he doesn't lose in the Champions League. He doesn't lose. I can't.
You know Pep. You know how much pressure Pep is under. You realize that?
Yes, Pep is under big pressure. Of course, his main target of joining the City projects and the Bayern projects in the past was to win the Champions League. He didn't do it at Bayern. I think he has this year and next year to win it at City. I think, but I can't go against Zidane, man. In the CL, I don't know. Madrid they turn up every time in the Champions League, so it to be in the balance. I don't think it to be like a blowout, but after I don't know. Pep will try to tinker because in the Champions League, I feel like he always tries to do too much.
But who are you giving the edge to? Are you giving the edge to Pep, to City, or to Real Madrid? Who are you giving the edge to?
It has to be Real Madrid.
Wow.
I can't go against Real Madrid.
Look, man, Pep better not lose this game. That's what I'm saying. Pep better not lose this. Stodge, who you giving the edge to?
Yeah, I'm going to give the edge to Man City. I think they'll probably win this. I think there's a lot of factors which go into this. Obviously, Real Madrid do have a good away record in the Champions League, but as Gatlak mentioned, normally their first legs when they've had this record has been away. The first leg has been away. And we must not forget that Man City have scored 2 away goals. So they've basically already got almost a 2-goal cushion. And we can't just come up with a theory where Real Madrid are going to score all these goals. And one of the highest, when it comes to scoring, a better scoring team in their home turf is not going to score any goals. That's not really that logical. Ramos is also missing, who's not only, it's not only the defensive part, which I think Madrid are going to miss, but he's a real good leader, and that's going to be a huge factor when it comes to the second leg. So I do kind of see, I give Real Madrid a 30% chance, and that's because I can see Guardiola overcomplicating things. I can see this guy trying to come up with a weird formation, trying to do something outside the box, and then it just backfiring on him. But I don't see much, I have to say Hazard is a special type of flop. I've never heard a £100 million player get praised for making a 4th pass in a goal-scoring move. That is, I give credit to Red. That's the first time I've ever heard that. I've never heard a £100 million signing somebody saying he made the 4th pass to a goal. What a player! That is special.
I mean, it still resulted in a goal. I don't get what's your point.
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, like they resulted in a team goal. Like, you give credit where credit is due.
No.
Like, if you want to just be like, oh, I didn't say it was an assist. I didn't say it was a goal. I'm just saying when Hazard's on it, our team tends to score more. And that's a fact. You can go look at the numbers. Every time Hazard starts, Madrid tend to score 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 goals. Like, we've had that. We've had games where we won 6-0 this season. I know in the last run of games, it was more defense. We were winning 1-0 and we were grinding results. But that's the last stretch of games. Just shows the ability that we have to win games. And plus, if we did, like I said, 2 goals is all we need. And that's it. We're level with City. And then extra time, anything can happen. It's not a reason.
You think City are scoring no goals? That's the issue.
Arsenal kept City quiet. What are you talking about? Arsenal got 2-0.
Listen, that was a 0-0 result. Arsenal just had to park the bus. City already have an advantage against you. They could just basically park the bus and counter-attack against you.
Oh, bro, I wish they would.
You guys can't
think
just
City for 90 minutes? You think City for 90 minutes?
Didn't City counter-attack you in the first leg and you lost?
Okay.
Yeah, so why
that's the first leg. That was months
leg?
ago. The team is completely different. This isn't the same team.
Why
The
is it
both
not
teams
different?
are completely different.
Aguero didn't start for them. Laporte got injured. Laporte is back now. So, I mean,
he was there in the first leg, though. So
no, he got injured. He got injured quite early on. Came off, right?
We'll see, guys. Like, it's gonna happen. It's in August, so let's see. Like, all of you guys are confident. I'm down. Like, I respect City. I think they're a fantastic team. There's no shame in losing to them, obviously. But I'm saying, like, 2-1. I'm pretty comfortable going into that.
Nah, I'm really gonna be ashamed if I lose to Man City.
Okay, wait.
What team do you support? What team?
Wait. Let's move. Wait. You need to move. So, okay, so I test. Thoughts on this, man?
For me personally, I don't rate Real Madrid. Like, I know they won the league, but if you look at the beginning of the season, for example, they were horrendous. If it was any other manager other than Zidane, they would have sacked him. Valverde, was above Real Madrid when he got sacked. He was above Real Madrid, and then in the second half of the season, a lot of people say Zidane turned it around. But even when I watch the games in recent times, they've been scraping 1-0 wins, 2-1 wins. They haven't really been that good when I've been watching them, and looking and. I saw that Ramos is the second top goal scorer behind Benzema. That's a joke. It's actually a joke. And for me, I don't even rate Zidane. I rate Zidane as a player. For me, he was an amazing player. But as a manager, I think his man management is good. He gets the best out of players. Just like we all saw what he did with Cristiano Ronaldo, the way he managed him, sat him out in unimportant La Liga games and then put him on in important Champions League games. Same with Benzema, but as in terms of the team and the way his teams play, I don't think his teams play good football. I don't really think he's like.
Oh my God, bro!
Big disrespect.
I've been watching.
Big disrespect.
People have been saying Real Madrid have been Zidane turned it around second half of the season, but I said it already. When like they've been scraping 1-0 wins, they've been scraping 1-0 wins and 2-0 wins. But they've been scraping 1-0 wins and 2-0 wins and 2-1 wins. So for me, if they're gonna beat Manchester City, yeah, all their players has to be on it Hazard has to be on it. This game he has to turn up. Benzema has to be on it. Ramos, he's injured. The second top goal scorer, embarrassing. But so for me, I think Manchester City are gonna win this. I don't think Real Madrid are all that. Zidane would have got sacked if his name wasn't
We're not
Zidane.
all that.
Okay,
We didn't
no,
win
wait,
3
wait,
Champions Leagues in a row. We did it, man.
wait, easy. All I'm saying is, easy. All I'm saying is, so just in response to eye test, the one where I didn't really fully disagree with Red is that this season is a write-off for Hazard. You know, I don't think that he should even start Hazard in the game. You know, that's just me. I don't think they should start Hazard. I think Hazard should just think long and hard and rethink for next season. I think if Hazard starts this game, I'm not sure how he will help the team. Psychologically, mentally, I just think he's gone. That's just for me personally. So from a boy VT2 who says, Bayern, Bayern, Juve, PSG should be banned from their leagues. It's a joke, but you see, VT2, no one cares. I've been saying for a long time that what is happening in the Bundesliga, in the Serie A and Uber Eats is a joke. Specifically, because obviously Emery messed up the run, but specifically in the Serie A and the Bundesliga is a joke. Hence why I have zero respect for Cristiano joining Juventus. That is a cowardly move. Now, if he wins the Champions League for Juventus, he'll get all my respect in the world. But until he does, him moving to Juventus is a cowardly loser's move.
Sorry, HH. I just got to respond to what was said just a second, because like when we talk about Zidane, like I don't think Zidane is top 5 coaches in the world. But if you don't rate Zidane, like I don't know what to tell you, my guy. Like Zidane's record speaks for itself. Forget the Champions League run. The fact that his team scored in 73 consecutive games, a record that tied Pele Santos, that's insane in the modern era. 73 games, no team kept a clean sheet against Madrid. 40 games unbeaten run, the greatest in Spanish history, the longest in Spanish history, beating MSN by which only had 39 wins. That's Zidane. Zidane is 2-3 in 3 La Ligas. He's won 2 out of the 3 seasons he's been there. In 16-17, 17-18, and 19-20. And in this is a rebuilding process, because if you remember Madrid last year, we got 68 points, I believe. He improved it by 20 points. He improved the team by 20 points. And he's undefeated against Atletico and Barcelona this season in La Liga. He used 37 different formations in 38 games with different players. He's utilizing youth players. And you want to come and tell me, we've scored overhead kicks this season. We've scored team goals with 20-plus passes. We've scored beautiful counter-attacking goals. And you want to tell me that Real Madrid's style of play is not appealing? You could say you don't like Real Madrid. I respect that. That's fair. I understand. When like top dog always gets the hate because people want our spot. But to say you don't rate us, it just shows bias and immaturity on your part, to be honest with you. Because
when Barcelona won the league, the league 3 times in a row, they wanted their manager out, Valverde. When you win the league,
my guy, because they have Lionel Messi,
crazy.
bro.
Crazy.
When you have a player that's scoring that has 70 goal contributions a season, and you're not getting the CL, and you're blowing leads, and your team is not playing well, absolutely you sack the manager, because you have Lionel effing Messi. That guy even in this season, in an off season for Messi standards, he has 50+ goal contributions in a 38 league game. Of course, you're not going to be satisfied, because you want to max out when you have a player of that caliber. Madrid don't have that. Madrid's greatest player right now on their team is probably Benzema. He's the one that's like close to his prime and is delivering. And even then, Benzema is just like, I'd say he's an elite striker, but by no means is he even close to Lionel Messi as a player overall. So of course I'm going to be happy. And also one last thing, HH, please mention me another Champions League campaign when you have an overhead kick in the group stage by your center back, an overhead kick away to Turin against Juve in the quarterfinals, an overhead kick in a final in one single campaign. And in that same campaign, we beat the French champions, which by the way, the away leg was the second match when we went to the Parc des Princes, and they were unbeaten, and we ended their beaten run. And they've beaten tough teams like Liverpool and Barcelona at their home ground. We beat the German champions in the quarters, Bayern Munich, and then we beat the what's called the Italian champions in the semis, and then we go to the final and beat the Liverpool team that has slapped everybody in Europe from Barcelona to Man City.
Swap that. It was Bayern in the semis and Juve.
Oh, my bad.
Easy. Let me bring it
because I'm logging off. I just want to say, so yeah, Hala Madrid, bro, best club in the world. Haters, eat your heart out. Peace out, guys. Peace out.
Damn. Okay. Okay. From Amateur Critic, who says that Zidane is the perfect manager for Madrid. I says, which is what I've always said, is that I still feel that we should rate Zidane highly, and I still feel that Zidane deserves a lot more credit. And I still think that people need to give him a lot more luck because 3 CLs is not luck. But I will say that Zidane would not have this kind of success with any other team. I think this is a perfect marriage, and he is a perfect fit for this Real Madrid team. Doesn't take away what he's done as a manager, because that is being harsh if we are giving him no credit for 3 CLs, two La Liga titles, and a Copa del Rey. That is management. Okay, that is management. So people shouldn't hate on that. From your boy Natsa, who says, so Red uses stats when it suits him. Hypocrisy. Well, Red isn't here to respond. But look, Red, he's just a passionate Madrid supporter, and Red knows that.
Like you are for Chelsea.
Was it?
Like you are for Chelsea.
Of course, I'm passionate, but I am logical in my passion. Okay.
Really, you had a drink, didn't you, when you got top 4?
What do you mean by I had a drink?
You're drinking Jack Daniels, didn't you?
I didn't drink anything, bro. I didn't drink anything. Okay, I'm a very sober man. I'm a very sober man. Okay. I am happy.
Yeah, I think Ites has a point. Real Madrid, especially in 17-18, we're going to keep it real. Their football is not that entertaining. I don't know why Red got so angry. That's just honest. That's the real opinion. It's not the best football in the world. I mean, plenty of teams play better.
And yet we still won the Champions League.
Yeah. Okay. Look. Okay. I'm Ham. Thoughts on this game? Thoughts on this game?
I'm actually sad that Red had to go because I actually have a lot to say to him. But anyway, look, man, I want Madrid to go through. Okay, I want them to go against Juventus. I've already said that many times. But the thing is, they are goal down and they play against Man City, which is like, I think it's the worst position to be in for Real Madrid because of the type of team they are. If Real Madrid was still like that attacking team where you knew that their front three was definitely gonna do damage to any team, then I'd understand if you're saying, oh, we can come back, we just have to counter attack or just wait for opportunities. But the thing with Real Madrid is they need a long build up and they need to be in control of the game to score one goal. Maybe it's a free kick, maybe it's a cross, we don't know, maybe it's a penalty. These guys aren't going to have control of the game. That's the problem. When they have the ball, they're going to have to do something quickly because Man City is going to be right on top of them. And the thing with Man City is they've got a lot of threat a lot of threat for any team. So a team can't just be like, yeah, we know we're going to score. You have to focus on defending against these guys. And I'm worried with Real Madrid that without Sergio Ramos, I don't think they have anything like any sort of clutch gene without Ramos in the team. I feel like Ramos.
What about Benzema? Can't Benzema say what's up? Can't Benzema
I love Benzema, man. I love Benzema, but Benzema is not that guy. Come on, let's be serious now. La Liga is a joke. We all know this. But Benzema in the Champions League, you think the guy can do what Ronaldo did?
Wait. So you're saying you're not rating Benzema at all?
I rate Benzema. I feel like he's got one goal in him. He doesn't have 2 goals or 3 goals to give. He's got 1 goal a match for him. That's how I see it. If you're saying Sergio Ramos is there, then I'm like, okay, maybe they can have 2. But in this team now, as it is, and they have to play against a team that's gonna have the ball, that's like, I don't see it. I don't see where the threat in the counter attack is coming from. Like, these guys are used to play against Mane and Salah. I don't think Vinicius is gonna be a big threat to the guy.
Okay. Rak Singh, man. City, Madrid. Who are you leading to come through with this, Rak Singh? Who are you leading to come through with this?
Look, man. If City play to their potential, City all the way. I mean, what Red was saying before about Madrid having the better chances. Unfortunately, he's not on right now, but That's nonsense, man. If you look at the XG on it, it's like 3.14 versus 1.14. Take away the penalty, there was still Madrid. City created far better chances overall. So, I think if City plays their potential, they win. Madrid are not the team they were 2 or 3 years ago.
But then, but look at this. So City don't have Aguero. That's one. We do know that Real Madrid are far better now and playing far better now than they were when they faced them. Ferland Mendy, who I would argue that's based on form one of the best left backs right now. Don't you think that City should be slightly worried based on a better Real Madrid and them not having Aguero, as Jesus has not really been able to step up? Or you still think that City? So who do you think will bring their A game? Who do you see going through, and how do you see that game particularly going?
I see City going through simply because they've got an advantage. They've got advantage of away goals. Obviously, the issue with City is, and they've shown it all this season, they're capable of drawing or losing any game. So it's not a fixture without any danger. But you saw they lost games against. They've lost games against Norwich. They dropped points in Newcastle and stuff like that. So they're entirely capable of losing or dropping points. But basically, this is D-Day for their season. If they get knocked out, they're done. Their season is a failure. And on that basis, I think they'll step up. And the fact that they've got the cushion of 2 away goals means that they'll go through. I don't think they'll win. I don't think they'll win the CL, but I think they'll go through on this tie.
Okay, well, guys, that is all from your boys. So remember, everything pops off August 7th. August 7th, August 8th are the first 2 games. So next weekend, obviously, we've got the FA Cup. There's that, which Chelsea will win. We will be doing a full in-depth Champions League analysis. So specifically for Saturday and Sunday next week, both open hangouts, is going to be a full, intense marathon Champions League analysis breakdown discussion. So guys, we'll see you there. Peace out, stay true, and pray for Chelsea to turn things around in the Allianz, man. Believe, we believe, we believe. Become a patron member. Get access to my blog, get access to exclusive videos, and also get access to the podcast for the Saturday and the Sunday hangouts. Head over to patreon.com/Liverpool's
the GOAT team
to get all
ever
those goodies
in the
while
Premier
also
League.
supporting your boy HH.